Hey y'all, it's your girl Nina Capone. We are back with another exclusive Respect the Hustle. This time in the building, see, y'all wouldn't expect this, but I got the one and only Cousin Cash in the building with me. He was kidnapped. Yep, I went all the way to Florida to pick him up, brought him here. I made it happen. He nodding his head and like I didn't. He know I did though. I did. I make it happen. This is what I do. Cousin Cash, welcome back to Philly, bro.
I just want to say she gave me water and tissues. That's what I'm. That's what I want to say. That's the first line of this interview. She gave me water and tissues and a half-eaten cake.
There you go. There you
It
go.
was an offer that counted.
Listen, see, and you be surprised what a half a piece of cake can get you.
so
Now that we finally officially have you here, first,
right.
for those who don't know, some people know you from me. Some people know you from the internet and all of the big business moves that you do. But let's introduce, and I'm not going to do it because I wouldn't do it like you. I don't know. I'm pretty good at it, but
Right.
I'm going to let
Okay.
you do it. Let's introduce Cousin Cash.
Oh man, Cousin Cash.
Who's Cousin Cash?
Right. So, damn it, you came out firing.
Because I always do.
You came
right?
out firing. I wasn't.
I got bars. Don't forget my real angle here. You know, I got bars.
I got you. Mama, I'm fine. She treat me well. No, Cousin Cash. So I guess Cousin Cash is the older me. If that makes sense,
that
right?
make well. See, I know the younger you.
You know the younger me, right? So the Cousin Cash is the
Okay.
older me, the older version of
I know
me.
rebellious Cash.
Yeah, like like yeah, there was a lot of years of that.
Yes.
No, the Cousin Cash is more the father
Mature.
of 10.
Father of 10.
Father of 10, married 13 years, 40. God damn, can I say
You
that?
40?
40.
Damn.
Yeah, old.
40.
Old 40.
Wow.
But you big sis, I'll never be as old as you, but
I love the spin
40.
on that. I love the spin.
But 40 nonetheless.
You just caught up. That's all.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So Cousin Cash is just kind of like I was saying to you before, like old enough to know better, but young enough to still be with the shit sometimes.
That's it. We always got keep it gangster for them all times, right? So for those who don't know, I want to get into a little bit about people see you on the internet. Some people know, some people don't know. Right. What do? You at one time you are originally from Philly.
Absolutely.
North. So let's North. How do you spell it?
With the F.
Okay. We got to make sure because everybody ain't from North Philly. Some people are from North Philly.
Some people from North.
We from North Philly, right? It's a difference. Yeah. So speaking of which, tell us a little bit, like where are you from in North Philly? Yeah, I gotta say it that way just to emphasize for those who don't know.
So, damn, that's a tough one because when you from Philly. You where you from is where you spent the majority of time.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So I could say I'm always rep Abbotsford. I'm always rep Abbotsford.
Shout out to Abbotsford.
I'm always rep. I got my ass whooped enough in Abbotsford.
To say that I'm from here.
You niggas never fought me one-on-one. So it's a couple. I want to name names, but I won't because we old. But
right.
But I appreciate y'all for rolling on me enough for me to learn how to fight. So
multiple people at one time.
Yeah. After a while, one person to get their ass destroyed now.
Right.
You need 7 for me to be
about
fair
learning
fight.
Focus.
Right. Yeah. That's why my eyes good.
Right.
Gotta watch that. Who that nigga over there?
For real.
Is that the sister she kicked me to? Damn, I gotta make a list.
Right.
But so from Abbotsford, man. And then you got the Cecil B. Moore, the 33rd and Cumberland. Shout out to all my family on Myrtlewood and Hollywood Street and just all over North. But like I will always represent Abbotsford, like always.
Absolutely.
And then from North, back when Southwest was before it became Southwest Africa.
Right.
Before it became Southwest Africa.
Right.
I had moved to Southwest because we thought that was good living.
Yeah, well,
it was.
And from North Philly. Yeah, it was.
It was. And then the Amistad boat landed there. But But shout out to Dark Ages and all my African people. I love them. Like they put me on good
Absolutely,
food.
absolutely. For real, right?
So they put me on good food and whatnot. And but yeah, man, I am from a place where in most cases we are not supposed to do what we're here to what we're doing.
Absolutely not. Like,
Yeah,
and that's we from the struggle.
yeah.
So that takes me to say, how do you know me? How did when did that
All right,
transpire?
so if this really put your age out there, not mine,
Mine.
your age out
Well,
there.
I'm 26, so
So,
good luck with that.
oh shit.
Maybe
All
you
right.
don't know me.
So, right, how about it, right? That's a lot of twos and sixes
Right.
there, but so man, so for this to be my god sister, this has been so in Philadelphia. If you don't know anything, it was two Ninas. It was Nina Ross and Nina Capone,
And then everybody else didn't matter.
and then
The other Ninas.
any other Nina was like the daycare center manager or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said Nina, and it's like which one? There's
That's
only
it.
two that matter,
That's
Ross and
it.
Capone. So damn, it's crazy because if I'm not mistaken, we had interactions. I remember
I
I was
met
in
you.
Atlanta.
I'm about to say I met you out of.
That was a long time ago. We officially connected in 8008. So shout out
Mhm.
and rest well, Chris Odom,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yep.
And
Yep.
and but I remember there was a certain person that you knew that I knew that was hating on my Disney deal
Yes.
in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
You know,
We was working.
yeah, yeah. So
Big
so
time working
we gonna
big.
say,
And you was a kid star. You was like
yeah,
really. I mean, we both were, but I mean,
yeah. So I date back. My first introduction to music and anything I've done was 8. Uh, First deal was probably around that time,
hmm
and then the industry will chew you up and kind of spit you out. You know what I'm
absolutely,
saying? So
absolutely.
like with the promises and stuff like that, and then so for sure music,
Yeah,
right?
definitely music. Definitely music.
And then I guess it came to a head when I got older.
Yeah.
And then once I got older, it was just one of those things where it's like I said, we link back
We
up in 8008.
connected.
Yeah.
So, and I believe, like,
Yep.
I think I embraced you in Atlanta because I was like, oh my God, I seen the talent. I seen that like the little prophet.
Little kid.
Little no, little
Yeah.
prophet. I was like, I
Yeah.
knew then.
Oh, don't start. Don't start
I
with
knew then.
yeah.
I knew then, and I'll share that with y'all a little later. But
Yeah.
I knew then when I met him, like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. But and then coming to Philly and seeing that you with the team,
Right. Was like
with
lived
our
here.
our family,
Yeah.
which anybody know me know. I the most exciting moments for me in life, touring 6 years at a time in my younger life, to meet people from the same city that I'm from
Right.
was like, people don't
Right.
understand that. Like when you're out there on the road, you in Atlanta, you with the Atlanta people.
Mm-hmm.
When you see somebody from Philly, first of all, you ain't gotta say much.
No,
You
once you
like
know,
that
yeah, you
person
can
from
hear.
Philly. I
Yeah.
don't care, you 9, 10 years old, you
Yeah.
like he from Philly
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that was the main connection. And then to come back and see you was like, oh my God,
Right. Right.
he's one of us,
Right.
really,
Right. He's really from because everybody from Philly until
and tell you from Philly.
till you from Philly.
Tell you there, and they like,
Everybody from Philly until they get.
what part you from? Where you from? Where you lived at?
You know what I hate? I don't know if I'm supposed to
You
say
can say
this.
anything you want.
Okay,
We do whatever we
I
want around
hate.
here.
I hate. If you don't understand what we mean by like everybody from Philly until right,
Mm-hmm.
I know of artists that's like from Camden, New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
that got cousins that lived in Philly, so they hung out in Philly, and when they got rich and famous, they was from Philly,
Norristown, Delaware. Let's keep going.
Reading,
Like Reading, shit, Williamsport.
Conshohocken,
Like it is
uh,
what it is. We can't,
yeah,
I think that this was the hub of usage, because a lot of people, when they say, oh yeah, such and such, this artist we would be in Atlanta
mm-hmm.
and hear that this artist was from Philly, and we like, where you from? And they couldn't tell us
Right,
what part, because we
right,
already know no Philadelphian from North Philly or West Philly had a stable home. So you
No,
lived in
no,
5
no. You so
places.
right when you say you from Philly, it's like
You
where
gonna
you
give you
from?
at least 3 places.
Uh, Erie Avenue,
But I stayed with my
Allegheny,
grandma in Mount Airy
Alany,
sometime, right?
52nd and Spruce, or 48th and Ludlow, 38th and Brown,
Right.
22nd and Tasker.
You
Like,
want to claim at least 3 to 4 sets. You're not
right,
going to
right,
say I'm just from this block.
right.
There's not many people who just grew up with. I
In one
mean,
household. I
yeah, like
mean,
it just
yeah,
it's
yeah,
very rare for
yeah.
a
I feel
Philadelphian.
like I feel like in most cases, if you're from Philadelphia and you grew up in one household, it was grandma's house.
Always
It
grandma's
was
house.
grandma's
I was at my
house.
grandma's house. I
Where
was at
did
my
you
grandma's
live?
house.
I lived at my
I was at my
grandma's, but my
grandma's.
mom she stayed over there
Yeah.
at there and then there.
I lived there with my mom, but I was always at my grandma's house
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
all the
You know
time,
what I mean?
all the time.
So that was what it
That's where all
was.
your friends was.
Exactly. All your friends was at
Right.
grandma's house, and that was just where you did everything. So
Yeah.
we grew up,
Yeah.
at grandma's house
Yeah,
with
at grandma's
all of
house.
our cousins.
Hmm.
Because a lot of us didn't have. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had all cousins.
That's
I'm
why I
related to
claim
everybody.
Abbotsford. So I rep Abbotsford so well because like I spent the grooming years there.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So like shout out to like Verse Beats. Do they still go by Verse Beats?
Yes, I just hit him up this morning, right? So I seen him online, and he was like, "I'm working." So I had to go working on what? He
Right.
like new sounds. Okay, I said,
Yeah.
"All right, all right."
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Verse Verse had a studio in his house when he was like 9. Out. Yo, let me tell you. Let me tell you, he older than me, right? And but I'm
Shout out to Verse.
shout out to Verse because like I've always been a singer. I couldn't rap a birthday present. I'm kind of like Kevin Hart's. I just ain't had a voice for it. Like I
Oh
I, I
goodness.
could write my ass off,
He
yeah,
can rap
but
too, but I'm
but
about to drop something
n-
on us. Actually, I'm dropping tweet that shit.
don't you drop that.
It's about to drop.
No,
So
you
check for that in the coming week. But we're gonna get into
I'm
it.
gonna send Nina a cease and
Cease and desist. I'm
desist.
not worried about
I'm
that. He
gonna
know I
send
follow the
Nina a
rules.
cease and desist. Um, but no. So I remember, and this goes to like how far back it was. We went to a camp. I think it was like Camp William Penn, and Verse was there,
Wow.
and I performed, and it was the first time anybody in the projects saw me perform,
Hmm.
and I performed as a rapper,
Oh
and it was
goodness.
like my own bars and everything. And he was like, "Nigga, you can rap," and I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. The problem is though, as a singer, look, tearing stuff up.
Oh
The
man.
problem is as a singer, they don't have I mean, shit, in the early 90s, they ain't had no damn instrumentals for singers. Like, so I did my first love song off of Wu-Tang Clan, ain't nothing to fuck with.
Stop playing. A love song.
The love song. I was like, this bitch broke my heart for on Wu-Tang Clan, ain't nothing to fuck with. It should have got dark. It didn't. I ain't have enough dark lyrics.
Somebody broke your heart off of
Not
Wu-Tang.
at all. But you
Oh
know,
no,
all R&B singers,
you had to get into
they
it.
was
You had to get
emotional. You know what
into
I'm
it. Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And so I'm like, all right,
You
this is gonna
followed the
get him.
trend.
I did. And then it was just like, do you remember the beats of Wu-Tang Clan? Ain't nothing to fuck with. It's like when that beat came on, everybody in the room like, oh, he about
So
to go in.
nobody could have expected you
And
to.
then it was like, ooh. It was like,
But see,
yeah,
people have to understand your talent though. And see, one of
yeah.
the unique things about your talent, because I would be moving around doing something in a whole nother story. They'd be like, yeah, it's this kid in Philly named Cash, and he is like, he could do everything. And I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
him.
that
I
guy.
know who he is. Like, yeah, I'll be seeing him later today. Yeah, the studio. I know where he is.
Man.
So let's talk about that, the part of the music life, because
Okay.
you not only just sing, because a lot of people say, oh, he sing, but you are a writer, producer,
Engineer.
rapper, engineer,
Uh,
graphic artist,
oh
computer
man.
whiz, super genius, and I mean, I can go on as long as I've known you,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty dope, but I'm like, I don't call anybody doper than me,
Yeah.
because I do a lot of stuff, and I
You do.
know I've mastered a lot of stuff.
You do.
And the only other person I know that mastered as many but more is you. Seriously. So, let's talk about the production side and the work that you put in, because I remember, oh my God, I remember. Um, let's talk about where we were. Let's talk about where we made some of our
You,
best music.
oh, well, that's easy. 70th and Lindbergh,
Yes.
70th and Lindbergh in the
The
storage,
U-Haul
the
storage
U-Haul storage,
unit.
rum 8008,
Yep. You remember the room?
8008, uh, with
Woo.
Side by Soul
Side by
and Total
Soul,
Groove,
Total Groove,
right?
Chris Odom,
Chris
may he rest
Odom,
in
may he
peace.
rest well.
Oh,
Stan Brisbane,
Stan,
uh, and then you
Toke
got a supporting cast:
Jones.
Toke,
Yes.
Bear,
Bear,
Mookie,
Mookie, Panda.
Panda,
We can. Oh my goodness.
Coop.
Cool. Yeah. Oh my goodness. We just listen.
Right. Speed.
Every. I mean, almost everybody came
Yeah,
through there.
yeah.
But that was. I think that's
That is
the cast.
that's the cast.
That's
That's the
the lineup
supporting
right there.
actors for sure. The supporting role.
Wow. I mean, those were. I mean, times where and when we say the U-Haul, because I think some people be like, oh, okay, they must have. No, like we have
No, if
to.
you go to 70th and Lindbergh, let me tell y'all something about 70th and Lindbergh. That was the spot. And I'm gonna tell you why. It was
Whew.
multiple studios in there, right?
Right. Right.
It is a U-Haul spot, and people don't know that this is innovation at its finest. It was a
Mm-hmm.
U-Haul spot slash um side chick duck off. I don't remember his name, but shout out to him. He had a fountain bathroom in there. He had the
What?
bed, yeah, like 2 doors down.
Oh, that was the
The boy
guy.
with
Yeah.
the truck. Oh man, shout out to him.
Shout out to that guy.
Shout
Yeah.
out to him because
Mm-mm-mm.
he was creative. he
That's
was cre-
the thing,
and
though.
he was
Yeah.
creative, and he taught me a lot about women from a distance. He taught me a lot. He taught me that women be faking on us fellas because they don't care either. Because a chick couldn't be like, "Oh, come on, let's go do this, whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." And then she
I'm
pull
gonna
up to a
take you to
U-Haul.
my
Immediately, I feel
take
like
you to
I'm
my
about to get set up.
U-Haul.
You know what I'm saying? He had Quagmire's house in that U-Haul. Like he hit the
That's
light, it
crazy.
spent. He had the man.
He
It was
did have a whole little
set
joint
up
in
in it.
there. He sure did. I forgot about that man.
Yeah, I was listen. At one point in time, I wasn't convinced that he was just a normal guy. Like so, like
You think he was doing some like movie
hell
production
yeah. I
type
think I
stuff in
think I
there?
think hell yeah. I think man. Listen, I think he started Pornhub. I'm gonna be
He, I,
honest.
you know what? As crazy as it seems for the setup and how innovative it was, he
Mhm.
really may have been.
Yeah,
Shout out to him.
shout out to him. He's the real MVP. But yeah,
Wow.
so and then our setup was nice too. It was two different sides. It was the Mac side. It was the
Hold up,
PC
mind
side.
you, we are in a tiny.
Man,
It,
we are in a
remember squeezing past the refrigerator?
yes. Well, you got to factor in. Chris
Oh
wasn't no
goodness.
little dude.
Right, right.
So there's Stan on one side, Chris on the other.
Oh
If
my
I'm there,
goodness.
it's the full time. You got to slide through. It's always 6 people in there. This is only a 2 adult space.
Right, yeah, two adults at max.
And then
And then the
they had a whole
equipment,
booth. The equipment and they
the
had a
booth,
soundproof
they had a
booth.
sound booth
Yeah.
and the
And an
equipment.
AC.
And an AC
And an
unit.
AC. And an AC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't think we had the stand up Jones at the time, do we?
No.
No,
No. They did.
they did. Okay,
They
all
had two
right.
ACs because the units was heated and cooled.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And
That's
then they
right.
had an
That's right. It
AC
did.
because
We
it
did.
was conditional like and then
Why do I
you
want to
might as
keep
well
knocking
leave
that
that
down
there.
at this
Um
point?
and then it was cool because they also if I'm not mistaken, they was the only ones with the bathroom key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I used to make y'all walk me around in the dark.
Yeah, the dark, yeah, nighttime. Yeah. There was a gate back there. You never knew what other setups was in there. In fact, they this is the room I'm starting. I'm not sure if it's true. In fact, I know it's not true, but it's the room I'm starting. They shot Breaking Bad there.
You know
Uh,
what?
it's believable because if you've been here
If
before,
you've
you
been
would
here,
know.
you'll be like, oh, this is the place.
Yeah,
This is the
they
place.
they shot Breaking Bad.
Yo, that definitely bring back memories. I mean, being in there, going in that little tiny dark booth,
Hmm.
but the production. Let's talk about the
Man,
production, the
the
sound
sound.
that was
You
made from this little space.
live piano, live guitar, live
Live,
drums.
live.
Like how you get a drum. I feel like the drummer was playing on the ceiling.
How did he get it in all the equipment
Say
in
what's
there?
up to Mookie. Mookie mean as hey, what's up? And he on the ceiling. It's like
Rock.
going
And
in.
I think that was like when we really was able to kind of get into our music and get into.
Mhm.
I guess that's what make us great at what we do because we didn't come out with like, oh, I need a track. I need a track
Mhm.
meant Chris was going to sit down and start playing keys. Was like, you need something
No,
like
Stan.
this.
Stan gonna play keys.
Well, yeah.
Chris gonna
Well,
play the
Chris would sit there
guitar.
and be like, "You want something
Oh
like this?
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah, yeah,
call
yup,
Stan,
yup,
and
yeah,
then we
yeah.
gonna
That's
get
true.
Stan to play this out." And
Yup.
then Chris grabbed the guitar because Chris would get on all the instruments to figure out what
The
sound
bass, all of that. Yup.
you would want to go. He'd be like, all right, Stan gonna play that. I got an idea. I sat there and watched Chris formulate, and then when he get on the guitar, it's over. It's over
Oh
for you
yeah,
because that's when he put
yeah.
all his stuff in. But I
Chris was
always
was
laugh.
definitely Prince level guitarist.
Oh my gosh,
Chris
yes.
was Prince level guitarist.
He would always say, Nina, like this, find this note. Because I'm tone deaf. And a lot of
Right,
people are like, well, what you mean? I'm tone deaf. I can't hear it. I don't know. My MD would guide me through where
right,
to jump at from keys.
right.
And then or the guitar. More than likely he would use the keys because I'm a little slow. So
You know what? In all the years I've known you, I never knew that. I just thought your ass was lazy at times,
no,
right?
no,
Because
no.
I would. You telling me as a person who produced you
Who
that you
produced
was
me?
tone
Yeah, I'm
deaf,
tone deaf.
and it's
Yeah.
like, so you wasn't getting me to do these background vocals for no reason,
No.
but you could find the keys, or was it tone deaf, or it was just like,
I'm tone deaf.
Nina
I would
lazy, y'all.
I
That's what
could
it is. I don't buy that shit. I don't buy
I learned to understand the music, the
it.
layout of music and what I wanted to hear,
Hmm.
just couldn't hear it.
Right.
So I knew that if anybody, this guy, backgrounds is phenomenal. So I knew you would understand me. This is why I could never bring nobody else in and be like, can you put these backgrounds in
Right.
place? Because then I
Yeah.
would have to teach them. Never had to
Right.
teach you.
Right.
I can say it should be like this, or I can even reference a song to you.
Right.
And you say, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's nothing.
We
I
got
could do
that.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. We
You
got
see what I'm
that.
saying? So even being tone deaf, the people I was around was they understood music enough to help me to create the
Right.
sound I was always
Right.
going for.
Right. I'm gonna tell you though, Chris ass left me though. Um, Chris ass left me. Nobody knew, like I didn't. Nobody. I liked. I wanted to always be just a singer. I never
Hmm.
wanted to be an engineer.
Yeah, I remember your
I
rebellion.
never wanted to write. I never. It was just like, yo, man, find me a writer and an engineer and a producer, and then I got you. I can hold everything down.
Right.
And then one day, um, some nut ass nigga snitched on me. So shout out to Cornell Smith, you nut ass nigga.
Shout out to Cornell because I know he's gonna watch this.
Yeah, not Tubbs. Tubbs was my guy, but Cornell Smith, you fat fuck. Shout out to you, you piece of shit. So,
Oh goodness.
but he snitched on me. He was like, "Yo, this kid could produce," and he was playing beats, and they was just like, "You you made that beat?" I'm like,
Yes.
"Yeah." Chris said, "Went in his pocket." He gave me the key to the studio and got his ass up and left. And I was like, left me.
I remember Chris
Left me.
calling me, sis, what you doing? Yeah, Cash over there. He working. He just in there. He just making stuff. You know how he is. I was like, you just left. You just left him
Just
in there.
left.
He was like, yeah, he been in there for 3 days. Like
Yup.
what?
Yup. Yeah.
He got the baby. Like
Yup.
wait, what?
Yeah. Sure
You
enough.
down there go check on
You
him.
don't
Like
understand.
okay.
I'd be sitting there patting and doing background vocals and mixing and shit. Shout out to my daughter. Shout out to Lyric for being on like
Oh,
7
goodness.
tracks. Y'all thought it was a sound effect, but it was me
It's just a
changing the
whole-
diaper. It was really
a whole child.
those were really diaper straps. It's like I just made it seem like I was tearing the paper up. Like,
right,
No,
right.
but-
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, those were great times.
Yeah.
And I think they made us into the adults we are. We did come up
Yep.
around some phenomenal people. So
Yep.
for everybody we mentioned, they raised us. And
Yeah.
you know, I think music saved our lives. I could
Yeah,
say,
hell yeah. Hell
you know,
yeah. Hell yeah. It's Philly.
yeah,
It's so
yeah,
easy to get
yeah.
caught up in the absolute wrong shit
right.
for no reason.
Right. And for me, being a child of music
Mhm.
who lived it forever, right? And then to come back and find a family of music because when I came off tour, I met, I was in Atlanta with technically they was cool, but they wasn't it wasn't the family,
We being honest.
no, we not.
Okay.
No, I ain't like the people. It was all let's be honest. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
we being honest.
But
Yeah.
that was different. That was business. And I think that, a lot of times people can be cool, they can be good acquaintances, but they're not your family.
Right.
And to come back to Philly and get with my big bro, and and he embraced making sure my stage was right, making sure the
Hmm.
sound was right,
Yeah.
making sure my music
Yeah.
was on point, making sure I knew what the heck I was about to go, what song was next I'm performing. Like, I learned all of those things from him. Shout out to Holly Stain for teaching
Holly,
me
my God.
for teaching me how to move on stage and not just be a stiff still stick.
Let me tell you, Holly. Is Holly still doing this thing out here?
Yes,
Let me
yes,
tell
he
you,
is.
I don't care who you are. Holly has worked with everybody,
Everybody,
and
shout
he
out
is.
to Holly Stain. If you know,
Yo,
you
listen,
know.
if you know, you know, and it's so crazy because if you don't know, I'll paint a small picture. Go back and watch Five Heartbeats, right?
Hmm.
And their choreographer, that's not Holly Staines, but I wouldn't be surprised if his character was based off of Holly Staines because Holly Staines wasn't he in the military also or something like that?
I think
I
so.
think
Yeah,
Holly
yeah,
was.
yeah.
I,
He
I
was.
think
No, no. I think. Yeah, I think you're correct
I
on that.
think I think Holly was
He
in the
gonna kill me.
military.
Like, how you don't know that? I'm
Right,
like,
right. But I'm gonna tell you,
we
he
old Holly.
he made sure, and he worked with everybody. Like he made sure
Everybody.
you are like. I never forget. I was so mad because I'm like, man, I worked with him. I thought he was gonna be
Everybody that was somebody, though. Everybody that had the potential to
to be
become
somebody.
somebody.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah, that's true.
everybody that came up is not, and and I always respected this. And he'd be like, "Where my niece? Where my niece?" I'd be like, and come to the studio, and it could be anybody from the
Yeah,
Jill Scotts to
yeah. Because he
Boys
wasn't,
to
even though
Men.
he was a choreographer, he also he. A lot of people don't understand what it takes to actually hit the stage
Right.
and sometimes not dance but still look cool, like look
Presence.
like it right.
Presence.
He
He
just taught artist development
Yes.
from a looking out
From
at the
a
audience.
presence
Yeah.
perspective,
Yep.
how I sit here and get on this camera and talk right now,
Right. Right.
we were trained. And this is
Trained.
why a lot of
Yeah.
times when people try to correct me or tell me how to do something, I'm like, who was your trainer? Because I had the best in the business. I don't know where you came from, but I
Right.
I did,
Right.
and then to see him continuously go on and work with so many generations, I'm gonna say at this point,
Mhm.
of from back with my mom and them to us
Mhm.
to now these kids now. He's still, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Right. He is a cornerstone. Like you are not a real Philadelphian artist
Unless you
if you
even know that
have
name.
not come across Holly Stain. Like you didn't get nowhere yet. I
No,
don't care how
no.
many shows you've done. I don't care if you got a chance to open on the TLA
Yeah,
at the
he's
TLA.
a requirement. He
He
is
is
the
a
stand.
full
Yeah,
requirement.
yeah.
Like people who don't know him will be like, we got to get Holly Staines, and it's
Right.
like, well, you now we got to call somebody that knows somebody that like fur to call Holly Staines. Like he is
And that's
not.
real though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
You
real.
not, you not. And then it's like he's. What I love about it is, I learned this young, but he epitomizes being available but not accessible.
Hmm.
He is available to hear about,
Right,
and
right.
if you know the channels to even see, but he is not accessible to be able to get in contact with so easily.
And I
Like,
think he kind of teaches that. He even taught that to us. I
mhm,
mean, at a very young age, it's like we knew not to oversaturate ourselves
mhm,
as far as availability
mhm,
to people. And I think that's one of the things I always mocked from him. Like,
mhm.
I'm gonna copy that because I don't want everybody just rushing up on me,
Right,
because
right.
being a great being successful, being the go-to person, he would have been kind of crazy if he didn't set boundaries.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, and then it's like he dealt with everybody, and then there's so many hidden gems in Philadelphia. It's so many. I want to shout out my friend Kevin. His mom is Kane's grandmother from Menace and
Wow.
Society, and
Wow.
the block captain from Meteor Man. And
Wow.
what a lot of people don't understand about her is that she was and she was a hidden gem. She was a singer, she was a
Mm.
performer, she was a poet, she wrote, she acted obviously.
Mhm.
And just and she lived right across the street from the ABC boxing gym,
Wow.
right? And she was, God rest her soul, she passed some years ago. But when I tell you, like Like it's so many gems like that. There's so many people. Like, do you realize how so many people lost in the sauce didn't know Frankie Beverly was from Philadelphia, and it was like,
I
how?
heard that, and it's crazy because my dad hung with
Right.
Frankie, so here they come through the door because when everything happened, all the I got a living room full of OGs now because
Mhm.
they like, yeah, man, Frank passed away, and I'm like, oh God, let me go in my room because this is about to be a whole old head extravaganza down here,
Right.
and it's so crazy because when I'm talking to people that I know, and I'm like, yeah, Frankie Beverly passed. I'm
Mhm.
gonna go upstairs because I got 300 old heads with slick shoes on at my door right now, and they're here to see my
What type
dad.
of shoes they had on?
The slick jaw, the pointy toe slick jaw. They like,
The
yeah,
speedboats.
and they talk about, yeah, Jim, shit, I can't believe
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh my God, but
yeah.
just to say, like, yeah, they were like, oh yeah, I see they doing something in New Orleans, which my uncles went
I
out there,
love
and
how they they
my uncles,
they celebrated him. If y'all don't
I
celebrate me like that,
yeah, then
no,
y'all don't love
y'all
me.
don't love me.
I went out there, so my uncles was out there. They went out there, and I mean, they shut it down. It was amazing. So shout out to them, them darn Lorries. They
Yeah.
gonna do it. And then on top of that, you know, he lived in L.A., so that's where the arrangements and everything happened. But then Philly did some stuff as well. But
Okay.
I feel like we should have went New Orleans style.
I feel like, man, New Orleans just like,
Yeah,
do they take requests?
right.
Right.
Because I want that too. I think that's
Man,
that's
listen.
that was epic.
That
That
was
was
a
super
beautiful,
epic.
like, listen, and what I believe in being a great person on the earthly planes, because
Mhm.
then it depicts who you become as an
Absolutely.
ancestor, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure he was looking. I feel like he was partying with him. Like, I know they having a funeral. I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna go visit everybody. But
Yep.
right here, they went out, got a decent casket. I ain't never seen a casket. I was like, yo, man, I need that in my living room. Like, I ain't never seen it.
Not in my living room.
They got a decent casket, and then they went and got a cutout. Right,
The cutout was epip.
right.
Scary but epic.
I feel like there's people who love me so much that if they got a cutout of me, I'd be a dartboard.
You know what? You
They be
probably
promoting
would.
his ass is dead.
Right.
It's like,
But that
man,
that was so epic though, just to
yeah,
see it. That's how I envision being celebrated. Not that I'm Muslim, so y'all get me in the ground quickly, but at the
yeah,
end of the day,
yeah,
celebrate me that way. I think that's what we stand for as musicians, as
yeah.
artists, as influencers of any kind.
Right,
We want to be celebrated. We do
right.
what we do for a legacy, to create, and he did his job. I
Yeah, he
mean,
did it. Yeah, he did it. He did it up.
he
He did it
did
up. He did it up.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
Wow, wow. So with that, so we got the music. You was this producer, this super producer. Um, you created a lot of songs. So
what you about to do?
I'm just what
It's
you
the smile for
people
me.
just
She's like,
don't
you
trust me.
you created a lot of songs.
You
Like, who
you you
about to
did.
hop out the fucking who behind the chair?
I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that to you, but I mean, so you created a lot of songs. You created a lot. You did a lot of production. You do a lot of singing. I want you to share now, with those who don't know, how you do what you do, because a lot of times, I know it's a natural gift. You don't have to tell me. I know
Right.
you are the child of God. Um,
You go. Here we go. You.
here we
I
go.
see you
I'm
making
leading
your
to it.
segue. I see you
I'm
making your
leading to
segue.
this. Um,
Okay.
so, so what? You sing, but you sing. I don't know.
Mm,
Maybe you should give him something. I don't know.
I
I'm just,
can't.
just you. You
You want to hear
can't.
something tragic? So,
He really brought me a tragic story. Go ahead.
yeah,
I'm gonna
I
allow
got you a
it. I'm gonna
tragic
allow
story.
it.
So what happened was,
Mhm.
not too long ago, there was an incident where I had got injured
Mhm.
and my lung collapsed.
Oh yeah, that happened to me, so I get it.
Lung collapsed.
Mm.
And so over time, the thing about your lung collapsing is they tell you, oh, it's going to deflate, but and mine didn't fully deflate. And
Mm.
so now I literally, it created a couple of health problems.
Right. Of course.
And so now when it comes to like singing, I can't capture enough air to
To
carry.
push it out. I
Yeah.
understand that. I understand. So
So
I'm gonna
so and
let
I'm
you
gonna
off
tell you,
the hook a little bit.
I'm gonna tell you what I believe would happen is I would have to go through a dramatic like workout, like how some people will work out to
Well,
get they.
before we perform, like that type of workout to get your lungs built
I
back
it
up.
would I would have
Yeah,
to go back to like the drawing board. I'm talking
yeah,
about the very very like we talked about Holly Stains. I would have to go back to like
Holly Stein.
his boot camp,
Yeah, that
the boot
beginning
camp.
role,
Yeah,
right
like
in the mirror.
the in the mirror, like you know what I'm saying, and and
Exactly.
and 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 that's probably just the carry. No, I mean it's a tough one for me because I used to
Cause you,
sing to
yeah,
just kind of like get through emotions and stuff like
right,
that, and I
right,
have
right.
become more of a. It changed my character. Let me just say that.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how losing, or not saying lose it, because I don't believe you lost it. Let's just say unable to use that part of your abilities because again you are the child of God.
Here we go.
um they don't know what I'm talking about yet. They're gonna learn today. So not having that,
Yeah.
what was the cornerstone in changing like how you live? Because I feel like we both went through that
Mm-hmm.
traumatic thing with that whole lung collapse, and
Mm-hmm.
not at the same time, y'all. I feel like
No,
we
yeah,
got into a
not
fight and then
definitely.
this
No,
happened.
no,
That
like
didn't happen.
didn't happen. Well, we didn't do it to it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, yeah, I got you. I know what I'm gonna do. No, but probably years apart that this happened. It happened to me 2013 when I was hospitalized.
2014.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was, and then we both already struggled with asthma.
Yeah.
So, just on top of everything else. But so having that as a hindrance, because that's what it's become.
Mm.
Um, what was the segue of you changing and manifesting another skill? Because you already had 4,768 skills, right?
Okay.
So what caused
I see what
you
you're doing. I'm listening. I see what you're
this is
doing.
my god brother, y'all. So anyway, so how did you feel about transitioning into something different?
Mm.
Like, how I know it was a struggle. So talk
That
talk
was a
about the
struggle.
the feelings
You,
behind
you
it.
know what it is? What it is and what it became was I lose that and that makes up. Like I don't know, shout out to anybody that has something that's like that they know is theirs. I knew that my voice was mine.
Right.
I lose that. And then at this time, shortly before that, one of the closest people to me, his name is Kyle, but we call him Money. Right before that, he had went down for something that he shouldn't have went down for.
Okay.
And then typical judicial system over sentenced him to 18 to 40.
Wow.
And that played on my psyche because I have so many opportunities that's typically given to me, and I work for them. Let's like make no mistake, I work for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But sometimes when you get opportunities, it's a political game, and I was too knowledgeable to just not allow myself to. Let me just say this way: my knowledge became my biggest adversary, and
Mm,
so I used to get in my own way simply by saying I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's too much. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Like and that will be the case, right?
right. Right.
And so he goes down and I'm trying to push through and I got a small support system because we recluse.
Right.
It's not a lot of people that we deal with. So I got a
Right.
small support system that's like you could do it, keep going, keep going, keep going, and then life happens and it keeps happening, it keeps happening. Then I go travel um to these different places
Mm-hmm.
um and then more the biggest part that leads to all right boom now I get hurt,
Right.
that was like helping kill off this part of me was the hardest thing to be in life sometimes is the man or the woman that you're looking for.
Mm, mm,
And so remember, I didn't want to produce, I didn't want to engineer, I didn't want to
right.
write, I didn't want to do any of these things, I
Right.
just wanted to sing. And then I became that man because again, my first record on Wu-Tang Clan and nothing to fuck with, Big L's joint. I had records to Nas's like,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we're talking about like these are all, mind you, hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Classics that I got to sing over top of, and so I had to become that producer. Like even
Right.
with Verse, shout out to Verse. I get in the studio with Verse at his spot and everything, and everybody around at in Abbotsford, right? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then it's like I'm rapping there, but so I'm really, nobody knows I can sing. In
Right.
fact, it's crazy. The majority of the people in my family know I could sing until I was probably like 25,
Wow. Wow. That's
right?
crazy. That's
With
crazy.
with deals and everything that I had
Right.
acquired and
Right.
everything,
Right.
they didn't know I could sing since I was 25. It was just like, um, and so I'm used to being recluse, and so everything is going on, and I become the man I'm looking for, and so now I'm helping all of my friends out.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we talk about Chris. Chris gave me the keys. I'm out, and Chris will pop in. Hey, he'll hop on the record. Let me get some guitar work on here and all
Yep.
that. Boom,
Yep.
Chris was gone, and then Chris started getting sick from time to time.
Yep.
And so even there, when I'm like, all right, but I got people that'll get behind me in production, it was like, bro, you don't need us. Like, do your thing, and
Yeah,
and
you could do everything. I hate to say it out
whatever.
loud,
So
but
I know where you guys see what you're doing, and so but then I get uh um the incident happens with me. I'm in the hospital. My lung collapsed and everything, and then it's the get back, and then after a while, I was still able to sing for a little bit,
right.
but then I realized that it was getting there, it was getting there, and then the more I felt my lungs weakening me. The personality that music had created was dying,
Mm,
and
mm,
the man that I was looking for was on life support
mm.
because I had been doing this since I was 8. So, at a young age, I had 30 years and 20 some odd years in. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? At
yeah.
28, I had 20 years in the
I
game.
think and that's a just to piggyback and talk on that for a second.
Mhm.
A lot of people say, "Well, how long you been in the industry?" And I say 35 years
Right,
given. And that everybody
right.
don't know that. And I think now we didn't have cameras in front of
Oh,
us or
man.
cell phones
None
and
of
things.
this.
We were
None of this.
traveling. I mean, as a kid, I was traveling. I was on tour.
Right,
I was
right.
little Bow Wow and all these little, all these kids that y'all see that, oh, that he started when he was a kid, Lotto and all these people. I was a kid. I was a kid
Hmm.
out on the road touring. Didn't need a record deal because I had great management in place. I mean, Lonnie, shout out to Lonnie Gamble, may he rest in peace.
Hmm.
Was a
Yeah.
great manager who not only educated me but protected me.
Hmm.
Um, so how does that feel to say, I got the X amount, knowing that you got more time in the industry as an artist than you are in age.
Right,
Just about, you know
right.
what I'm
Just
saying?
about, just
So
about,
it's like,
just about.
or an equal amount of time. It's like I was born
So,
here, but
right. So
wow.
to have like 32 years into something, and that's the thing. So like I'm in a situation where I'm losing it
Mm-hmm.
because a part of me is still thinking I just want to sing.
Right. Of course.
And
That
so
was the
being
passion.
able to make the beats and write and stuff was there, but it was there by default.
Right.
I didn't know I was good at it until I couldn't get away from it.
Right.
Sometimes I'm telling y'all, sometimes you bad at something if you can easily get away from it. And it's
Right.
like,
Right.
but when you can't get away from it because people won't let you, like I get a call, yo, bro, I'm coming to pick you up.
Hi, I'm people.
Right.
Just want to go
I'm
ahead and
coming to pick you up. Or shout out to Montana Black. Yo, bro, I'm coming to pick you up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we are
you
people.
know what I'm saying? And so it's just like when you get that and then you push through. And then like me, when I lost the voice, one day it was just a moment where um that saying if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
I met that. And one day I wanted to just try to do something super basic, like for me,
Mm-hmm. Which
and
is probably nothing. He probably tried to.
nothing came out.
Wow.
Nothing came out. And it wasn't even a crack. Like crack is just like, all right, ain't been used in a while. Dust it off.
Right.
Nothing came out. And
Mm.
then when I would try, it would hurt. Something like as natural for me as talking
Mm-hmm.
began to hurt.
Wow.
I began to deal with like shortness of breath. It was just really bad, and then it was just like after that, it was just depressing, and then it all came to a head. Like, man, you lost your cousin, and had you did what you were supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
and just chalked um how people felt and things. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you chalk certain things, y'all wouldn't have been in this situation. He wouldn't have been in the situation he was in. He'd have
Right.
been safe. Um, you could have got everybody out. Then that guilt come in that, right?
Absolutely.
And then there's two
Absolutely.
types of guilts that I had to deal with. I had to deal with survivor's guilt. I had to deal with success guilt.
Mm.
Because then, even now, the man I've become, I had to recently, a lot of people don't understand that. I had to recently deal with the fact that when you do become successful and you look back at some people who may not be successful or may not have the opportunity, or maybe they did have the opportunity, but because y'all was like this,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, yo, you know what? Damn, I made it. You didn't. And it's not as easy to go back and get people as they try to make it out to be. Some people you can't even go back and get.
Or take along with you. And I think I
Yeah.
see that now on a lot of podcasts, people animosity, I won't say no names, but a lot of animosity from angry people who are in these groups or friendships or whatever I'm gonna say, where they're kind of pissed off because they like, yo, he ain't put me on.
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
it's so hard to put somebody on, I'm gonna say, because how much can you really do besides, even if if I throw you on a song with me, it's up to the people to put you on. It's up to the audience. It's up to you to put you on, because at the end of the day, you have to still sell yourself.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes being around me should be the pivot. It should be the pivot. It should be the door opener to you getting hurt.
You know what? I don't fault people to that name, because you know what? One of the biggest things that I discovered um with losing my voice, and now I have to do something else.
Yeah.
And even with all the things that I could do, how do I take who I am, what I do, and make this beneficial in a different light, right?
Right. Right.
And so when it comes to people like that, what I genuinely noticed um is I pay attention, like, to people's build and their structure.
Mm,
Some people are genuinely not built. Um you know what? Let me just put it out there. People, I and what I do now, I teach people that people will demonize terminology to hide education, right?
absolutely.
So if you can't be used, you're useless,
We've been saying that for so long.
right? And some people
Mhm.
feel like so and so used me to get to where they were supposed to be. Shout out to you for
Absolutely.
being a servant.
Exactly. Because that's what
And
we're here
that's
for.
what we're here for,
That's
right?
what we're here for.
Every person that hit the stage, if you're a fan of Chris Brown, if you're a fan of anybody, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, if you're a fan of any of these artists that's out here, like if you're a fan of the Megan Thee Stallions and the Sexy Reds and all of that, they are all servants. They are
Absolutely.
all servants, because what other reason would you know them if they wasn't serving you what it is that you are applauding and pleased by, that you would keep going to them to be served by them?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the issue. Everybody wanted to be the one um receiving, and
Right.
not wanting to be the one
Giving.
serving.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what
Yeah.
happened is, I noticed, all right, so my cousin down, um, I ain't got this voice. I gotta be something different. And everything that I could do, like, and what I do now, I've been doing since I was 15,
Mm-hmm.
but I had nobody to talk to about.
Right. Right.
And when I tried, I remember saying it, and people are so used to being fed. Here's, can I have my daily bread? And
Right.
and
Absolutely.
and people like us, we not only going out to get the daily bread, but we actually learn how to make the daily bread.
How
Like,
to
I'm
make the daily bread.
right. You know what? I don't have to be good at distributing the daily bread, or I could be good at it,
That's
but
not my part.
that's not what I want to do. I want to make the daily bread, because then you pay lower level people to
Yeah.
do that, and
Because
that
everybody's
focus.
not, and it's funny. I had a conversation just yesterday. Speaking of, someone asked me about my businesses, and
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't do the work. I create
Right.
the daily. I
You
make the
bake the
bread,
bread.
right? And then
Hmm.
I hire people to do those
Hmm.
things, and not to say that I don't know how,
Hmm.
because
Right.
I'm your
Right.
big
Right.
sister,
Right.
and
Right.
we know where
Right.
you came from.
Right. Right. Right.
So no, but you look at it though, and and that's a great analogy, because I think a lot of people want to go make the bread, and they're not. You're not a baker.
You're not a baker. Right.
Bottom
No.
line.
And so now it takes a toll on me. Now life gets real
Hmm.
because where I could have just did this and fixed everything, I can't
Quickly,
just do
right?
that
It's
now.
not just a quick fix
Now
anymore.
I can't just do that now. And then I'm a say it, and I hope I don't sound like conceited or nothing, but the way the music is now,
Hmm.
everybody sounds um I won't say everybody, but there's a lot of vets that sound like me 20 to 25 years
Yeah,
ago.
I would say 22, 23 years
22,
ago. Yeah,
23 years. And
yeah,
it's like from
definitely.
stylistically to, and it's like, while everybody is calling this trap soul, like I've always wrote how I felt, and it came
Wow.
out.
Just think about that. Think about going back to your sound. Your sound was so unique. It
Right.
was so different. It was so layered. I'm gonna say because
Right.
I know what I loved. I y'all don't understand. I
Yeah.
used to be like, Cash, come here, do this.
Yeah.
How how should I lay this? Or how should
Hmm.
I mean that those layers, and I think like you said, so many people is actually they just catching on and really just doing that
It's like
now.
if you're successful, you've done that, and it's like when people say that on these podcasts and on these interviews and stuff like that, you'd be like, ah, man, I never heard of them. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Absolutely.
and I'm fine with that, but at the same time, you don't get this far. Like, there's not a person that I could run into that if there's somebody serious in the game that won't know who I am. So I live on that. Like, to me, it's like
But
it reminds me that I was here.
touch on that, and that's big for me, being as though I grew up in that
And
world,
right.
and I think that's a big like red flag misconception, whatever you want to
Hmm.
call it. But that there's literally maybe four sides to the game, if I'm not mistaken.
About that.
You got the artists.
Hmm.
Most artists don't know other artists,
Hmm.
realistically in the business. You see them in passing, you may be a
Hmm.
fan, whatever, may
Hmm.
not. But then you got your production team. Your
Hmm.
production team is your production team.
Hmm.
Some people will never know, and you've played in many of those roles, the
Hmm.
production team,
Hmm.
where people don't know that this kid is behind here producing these records.
Hmm.
You were a kid
I was a kid.
producing
I
records.
was a kid.
When
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
first went to Atlanta, you was a child. This is a child. I thought they was tripping like, who the little kid here?
Yeah.
That's somebody's son. They like, he's the producer. How is he a producer? He's just a little kid.
Come on.
Then you got
Come on.
the management side,
Hmm.
and then you got marketing and promotions.
Hmm.
So these, you may not know who we are because we were already working with
By the time you got to this level,
we was already
I was in the
here.
back. I was making sure that you could get to this part, and then by
Exactly.
the time you got to that part, I had already rose here, and that's kind of where it's at, and I feel
Mm,
good about that though. I feel good
absolutely, you should.
because and what I do now, when I found that marriage, I
Mm,
found how to take um Cashmere, the singer,
hmm.
and become Cousin Cash,
Cousin Cash.
and that it taught me how to it taught me control. Like, when you don't know pressure till you gotta perform in
Mm,
front of thousands of people,
right,
when it's a
right,
wave of people in front of you, and maybe you're not a, because I ain't gonna pretend like I was this trending selling artist, right?
right, right, right.
But that's the beautiful part. There's so many artists that you've seen, and when they came out, you didn't remember you seen them, but they was there. Like, shout
Right.
out to Seven Streeter, who was in Rich Girl,
Yeah. How about that? How
right?
about that? Yup.
Shout
Yup.
out to Seven Streeter, who was in Rich Girl, and it
Yup.
was like when Rich Girl was out, they had a little splash, right?
But you didn't know
But you ain't know that that was Seven Streeter killing it the way it was until she came out, and then
Seven
when she came
Streeter.
out,
Yeah, yeah. You
it
got
sound
Money Long, who been out here for a long time. A lot of
right,
these
right.
artists been out here for years and years and years and years and years, and they're just breaking.
Oh my God, I just was talking about my nephew, Man Squabbles, just
Nephew, shout out to Mad Squabbles. We
Mad
gotta get him in here.
Squabbles
I
and
know
Joe
they
Jack,
ready to fight me.
and so it's funny because I'm watching him, and I make sure I bug his ear sometimes, like, yo, don't pull a me.
Right.
Don't pull a me. And
Right.
the best advice is don't be in your own way.
Don't be us. And he
Yeah.
know us. He know us. Look,
Yeah.
we auntie and uncle here. We know. We can
The
tell you
yeah,
best.
don't be in your own way, man. Like don't be in your own way. Like
And don't get stuck. I think that's one of the things I don't want for him to get stuck needing people
no. So
to maneuver.
I'm gonna tell you, Squabbles is a phenomenal artist. He's a phenomenal artist, and he's
Absolutely.
a genuine person, and that's the thing that I make sure that, and he does a great job at it. So this is not,
Hmm.
he don't even have to have me do it, but just because I know
Right.
that it's good to have somebody in your ear, I remind them that there is a difference between Mass Squabbles and the other version of you, and you
So
have to
important.
have an artist, and you have to have an executive,
Hmm.
and that you as an artist is the product, and
You're the
you as a
manager of your
person,
persona.
right? And then Joe Jack, shout out to Joe Jack, my big brother.
Yes.
Joe Jack is a
Phenomenal.
hell of a manager. And
Look, all around the board, all around the board.
yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
fuss at him. I know I fuss at you, Joe Jack, because you need to get in here so I can make
Hmm.
sure he get in my brain a little bit. But I've never, if we had parents that rode with us and
Yo,
managed
Joe
us
Jack is like
the way he do.
Joe Jack right there, man. Like when y'all see the wild side of Joe Jack, that's him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's him. He got one of the, and Squabbles and Joe Jack are two of the most genuine people you could ever meet
I
on the
remember
planet.
he brought him to the house.
Hmm.
And because he was singing first,
He was singing first,
and
yep.
he was like, yeah, he was like, Joe Jack came by the crib, and he was like, I'm bring your nephew by to see you real quick. He said he want to rap, and I was like, no, don't rap.
Right, right.
And he was just getting into it, so he did his rap, and I was like, wow, like, okay,
Nigga rap.
that's
Like,
right.
hey, right.
I didn't expect that.
Nobody did.
And
Nobody did.
then it's like,
Boom.
boom,
Yup.
it hit, and he became the rap.
Yeah.
He went from wanting to becoming a lyricist, a phenomenal
And
lyricist.
so that's where most people, if you're into music, most of you drop the ball. It's okay to dream, to have more dreams. And the reason I'm not saying dream more, like have more dreams, like okay, now go start a cleaning company or go start this, or
Right.
music ain't everything. It's like no, some people fight with, and there's some people our age that we even know that they fight with, still trying to get signed, right? And then when they get signed and they realize it's not what it was supposed to be, they don't think that they
Mm-mm.
made it. And it's
Right.
like the industry,
First thing they say is, "Man, I got screwed."
right? No, you
No,
didn't. You got signed.
you got signed.
You
That's
got
what getting
signed.
signed.
That's what
Welcome to
getting
the other
signed.
side.
Right, right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so getting signed is one of the easiest things I could say in my life. I had 7 major deals.
Hmm.
And the easiest play is to get signed, right? Because the best way to is two main flexes to be anybody get anything. Um and I always thought it was one, and then shout out to Joe Jack who put me on to the second one. And that's to out hustle everybody. You don't have to be better than everybody.
Right,
You don't have to be better than your competition, but you gotta out hustle everybody. If you're the best, I'm going to out hustle you.
I
I ain't
think
gotta be better
that's,
than you.
but I think that's one of the things. Our circle, our and our very, we have a very small circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what kept us going all these years.
Right.
We out hustle everybody. I
I'll
mean,
hustle
even we're on
everybody.
the Respect the Hustle show. The hustle is about out hustling. What are you doing? I hear a lot of artists say, "Well, I'm trying to be a full time artist. I don't want to." Wait, you don't want to what? Like,
First of all, why are you trying to be? See, that's the thing. A lot of them are full time artists and they don't know name because they're expecting the pay to come from being an artist. And it's like if you have a product of this water, if
mm-hmm,
you bottle this water, that's your product, that water bottle. Okay, cool. Now you got a warehouse full of water.
right,
Who knows?
mm-hmm,
Okay. Oh, you told people in your 20 block radius. That's cool.
mm-hmm,
What's your color scheme for your water bottle?
right,
How much does it cost for you to make that water? Or not make the water, but obviously bottle it. How
mm-hmm,
much are the bottles? Who designed the bottles? Do you have your trademarks? Do you have your copyrights? Now that's logistics in itself. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, let's get off that. That might go over your head. What's your marketing plan? um where like at what part, like a lot of people in the music industry, they go so backwards because it's show business. The music industry is a part of show business. What
That's
that
it.
means is it is 90% show, 5% business, 5% talent. That means the bit. And then don't get it misconstrued. Just because you only have 5% business, it's the most important percent,
Yes. Yes.
right? Because the show is going to throw you off. The music could be subpar. It's a lot of winning subpar artists,
Lots of winning
right?
subpar,
But
right?
but
Especially now. Especially now.
especially now, and that's
Because we
because
got,
these youngins
yeah,
understand. If you
they
ask me,
understand
these,
the hustle.
right, they understand the hustle. They understand that consistency, which was the second part. After
Mm-hmm.
you out hustle everybody, you just got to be consistent with what you do, not with what she do, what I do, not what Sexy Red do or Nicki Minaj, or not what they do, but you got to be consistent with what you do, because you got to market yourself, and it's a guaranteed million people that's just like you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So market to
Yes.
yourself.
Market to yourself. What would I look for in an
And
artist like
right,
me?
right,
Simple as that. And I think that's one of the things a lot of people, a lot of older artists, young people have no problem when people say,
right,
oh man, we got to help these young artists. They don't know what they're doing. They know everything that they're doing because they're out hustling us.
right.
That's what they're doing. They are successful in their own right. One, they learn how to become independent the real way. They know the
Mhm,
paperwork. They know
mhm,
what to file. I
mhm,
ain't never had no
mhm.
young artist walk in this office and say how I get my royalties. They say how I do this graphic or how I put this on
Right.
such and such. They
Because they
know
already
how
got
to.
their BMI.
They're,
They already
they're
got their ass
they
cap. They
got it
already,
all.
yeah.
And
Yep.
the information is out there. Granted, but for older artists that are still stuck, there's no excuse.
Right.
There's no excuse.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not the greatest with TikTok, but I know where they started at. Look, I look at I always imagine you being this, which is hilarious because every time I see one of these kids, I think of you, a streamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think of you, and I think that's the most remarkable hustle I've seen to date,
Yeah.
and it's just I don't know why you come to mind because that's the kind of kid you was, but yeah,
Right. No,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you again. That's what I meant. Like that's what I meant by, like, it's a lot of things that's going on now where I'm like, man, like I could be upset. Like, damn, man, like if they would have had this, I'd have been gone. But it's like, man, being in the industry, the one thing you know is that once you in, you in.
If you preserve relationships.
If you preserve relationships, you're in. But I mean, even if you don't, because there's a lot of people that burnt bridges, but you
But
might
you
have burnt
still,
bridges, but you have the
I can
experience
name
of
a
being
few
in the
people
industry.
who
I can
can't come
name a
in.
few people that's
Okay, we going
that the door is
yeah.
slammed
Let's not
on
go there.
them, all
But
right,
yeah,
locked,
yeah, yeah.
and they still banging at the door, and
They
it's
still
like,
or they're still fantasizing about being in the industry that they're not in. Because I know I got a few people.
so yeah, yeah. Well, again, and even in their situation, the sad part about it is, even if you can get to the door,
Yeah, yeah, that's big.
if people wanted to know what the music industry really looked like, and you can disregard everything that I say on this interview, but remember this. I want you to think of a record, a vinyl record, and I want you to think about how big a vinyl record is. What was the biggest one? A 45?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Okay.
is that the biggest one? That's the little one, right?
That's the little one. Okay.
That's the yeah. That's a 45.
So
The biggest with the 10,
the 12
12 inch,
Okay.
10
Just
inch,
so
something
let's,
like
let's
that.
think of the biggest record, right? The biggest record got the smallest hole. The industry is that hole.
Hmm.
The wax is everybody trying to get in it, and the label is everybody that's close enough to get in it. So it's like if you want to know somebody, it's like the people who's been learning. You start out in that wax, and then you go through the cycles of spinning around
Yeah.
until you get to that hole. Once you in that hole, you in that hole, and that's why everybody in the industry know each other. That's why, without going off on a different topic, if something is going on in the industry, it is not surprising. What? I didn't know this was happening. Yes, you did. You knew this was happening
Either you were
because
there, you were invited,
right.
or you totally just chose to ignore it.
Ignore it, right? But to choose to ignore something is to acknowledge it exists.
Exactly.
So you know what you know. and you know that this is, if whatever, and that goes for anything. That's nothing specific, but
No
that's to
Diddy.
everything.
We just gonna say it. No
Oh,
Diddy.
that's messed up. No. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like whether, like I said, not to even live on that, but whether he did it, whether Kels did it or didn't do it, here's the thing. We're going to take somebody like 50 who was working on a documentary for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10 years, bro. Like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and so saying it in interviews, this is the troll culture now. We went from the cancel
Absolutely.
culture to the troll culture.
Amazing.
Right. And so
Amazingly.
now everybody wants to see you do bad.
Yep.
And because they get to troll you. And so I feel like in this industry, if you know, then you know. But everybody's in that small little circle. That's why it's impossible to not know.
Right.
And then everybody on the outside and the facade of what the industry look like is everybody that's on that label, that little, the little
The
sticker that's
little,
outside the
yep, the
circle,
little
right?
paper on the inside
Everybody
there.
there, they put on a facade, and they the ones they want to be seen. They want to be in the loop so bad, and they think that in order to get in that loop, they got to put this facade on. So now you got cats throwing uh racks of income tax money or prop money to their ear. You got
Yeah.
the rented Bentleys. You got all of that going on.
And the thing is, there's places like, especially in LA, where you can go rent a house, you can rent a car
Yeah.
just for hours to take your photos. And this is
Yep.
what, I tell people, like, don't get caught up in this lifestyle where that people create for
I
you.
just don't like the fact that they demonize that. And I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
why. Most of y'all are probably completely out of shape because y'all looked at them burgers on or the Wendy's burgers, the Burger King burgers, McDonald's burgers, right? Y'all looked at it and it enticed you to go out and get one. But
Hmm.
if you never got a burger that looked like those burgers, and
Right.
nowadays it's CGI, that means them burgers ain't even. Before it was wax.
Right. Right.
Now it's CGI. Now that means it's not even. Before it was a fake or Fox burger, like it
Hmm.
was rubber. They sprayed it to make it look shiny.
Yeah.
Now it's CGI. Now it's not even real. It's all 3D animation,
Yep.
and you jumping up and you going out. And so I get it when you're marketing something,
Hmm.
and that's where they demonize terminologies. There now you fake if you're marketing yourself.
Right. Right.
Now
Right.
you fake if you're marketing
Hmm.
yourself, right? Or you got people. I go back and forth with my wife about this all the time. That the whole "what fake it till you make it" means.
That's crazy, because that was such a big saying. It was such a way
Fake it till
to
you make. Yep.
be in the industry,
Yeah.
fake it till you make it. And I think, we don't hear it as much anymore because people try to, like you said, they
Oh, they
demonize these
demonize
things.
that. Yeah.
But it was a thing. It was truly
Fake
a
it till you
thing.
make it meant. But here's the thing. What is the difference, Neve,
Hmm.
from fake it till you make it
Hmm.
to manifest your lifestyle? If you want to be a poet, then every day make sure you let everybody know I'm a poet
Right.
and write poems
Right.
and recite them, right? Now, I want to be a well-known poet.
Hmm.
So if you talk to 100 people a day and you make sure that they know you're a poet, and it's
Right.
100 new people every day,
Hmm.
and you do this for 30 days, that's 3,000 people
Right.
that know you are a poet.
Right.
If you do this for 20 more days, that's 5,000 people.
Hmm.
If you sell your poems for 28 cents a day,
Hmm.
right?
Right. Right.
For
My number. That's my new number,
365
y'all.
days a year,
Right.
to those 5,000 people,
Hmm.
you make a $500,000.
Right.
And in the industry, 500,000 records sold, your gold.
Right. I just we talk about this 28 cents, y'all. I'm hell bent on 28 cents.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about this 28 cents. I was talking to an artist,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, I'm about to drop these albums. He was like, what you think I should sell it for? And I was like, 30 cents.
30
And
cents.
I was like 28 cents, 30 cents. I was
Put
trying
them
to
on a
give him a
payment
roundabout,
plan.
and I was like, just pay,
Put,
just
put
do
them on a
that.
payment plan. If,
Right.
if you get 5,000 people to pay you $100 over the course of 365 days a
Mm-hmm.
year, that is $500,000.
Yep.
That's the equivalent of 27.6 or 7%. So round up 28%, 28 cents a day.
And
This
you
is how
got an
they got us with
album.
the big stuff. And you got an
You
album.
got an album. And if they're paying 28 cents a day
Yeah.
to listen to your album that you're running off of your own platform,
Right.
they're paying 28 cents a day for 365 days a year. What happened?
You are a first of all, let's call this like this. you're a successfully paid. That makes you a professional artist.
Done.
No record deal, no backing.
You're your own distributor.
You're your own distributor. So that means you are your own record company. Like if
Absolutely.
you release it under your LLC, you're not a label who
Mm-hmm.
gets a pub deal or so.
Absolutely.
You are a record company.
You got full creative control. You have income coming in. Now you file your music in the right places. Now you can create
You move to the RIAA.
all I
Now
double
you
A.
get
Now you
certified, right?
now you got plaques on the
And you
wall.
got real
You
plaques.
going to award shows. You being invited to everything. It's really just that simple.
People overcomplicate things. You got to think about it. Chance the Rapper never sold a record. He has Grammys.
Talk about that. Talk about
He
that.
has Grammys. Like he never sold a record. I watched Kevin Gates never sell music and just only tour and became a millionaire doing so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so when you sit back and think about it, like I mean, the game is not even the same. When they say artists sell this amount of albums in a week, I'll really be like, who the hell bought it? If I can Lotto drop an album, I'm just gonna go on Apple Music or Tidal or so, and I'm gonna listen to the album.
That's it.
So why I'm not buying it. I pay
Who
$9.99 a
what you
month.
buying it for?
I pay
Right.
$9.99 a month. So what am I?
And $9.99 a month. And just imagine how many
Mm,
people per artist that these major corporations are getting
right.
for that. Now we talk 28 cents. Now we dropped it as low as it can go, 28 cents.
Mm,
We're talking $9.99 a month. And whatever song comes out, we go listen to because we want to hear it. We want to hear that new song.
right.
So look at the money that they're making. And this is what I was explaining to this young person. Like, listen, you're overthinking it. You trying to get seen by all these, forget all those people. Make yourself number one to the people who actually want to buy your music.
Mm.
Stop shopping to the people who don't even know or care who you are.
Well, that's again. I mean, but that's what happens when you are an artist and that's all you are. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
there's
Mm-hmm.
a different you have to create a different variation in yourself. So Cousin Cash became a different
So
variation.
let's talk about that variation
Oh man,
because
okay.
I know I want to know what you've become as Cousin Cash from Kashmir.
Wow. So like I said, so we started this thing off with Cousin Cash being an older, more mature variant. And what it is I've become I jumped in. So I let me just say this. So I've been into the financial realm since 15
Right.
with trading on paper, like in 98, 99, we had to call in the trades and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I have been a trader off and on for about that time.
Okay.
Losses, wins, more losses, and then a couple of more losses after that. Did I say I lost?
Yeah, you
I
said you was a
lost.
loser.
Yeah, and then after you get
Right.
from this, when you trade and you go from being a loser, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying, to respectively a fucking loser. And then it go, like, all right, this is better, and then start fucking losing again. And it's just like, like
So, in other words, you got to be a
then you
risk
become a
taker,
fucking quitter. Like, man,
right?
fuck this,
I
right?
ain't doing this no more.
Like
Right.
listen, but no. So and then that happens because what it is a few things, if you don't mind me dropping this, a
No,
few
please do.
things you have to do, and this goes across anything across the board. You when I learned how to trade, and when most people learn how to trade,
Mm-hmm.
they trade for the money.
Right.
But the problem is, um, no matter what you do, if you do it for the money,
Mm-hmm.
you limit yourself.
Right.
I became a trader. I was doing it for the money, and I was losing the money. And I was like, I had to stop and think. You take somebody like LeBron James, who made $1 billion from basketball
Mm-hmm.
alone,
Right.
and he probably not one day played ball for the money. We all hope that we're gonna get paid. He knew he was gonna get paid from this,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
he wanted the chips. He wanted the legacy. So more important than anything else, he wanted the journey.
Right.
And so when you get into the financial market, it don't have to be trading. It could be in business. If you go in and you focus on the journey and making the journey the very best it could be, everything else falls
Falls
right
in
into
place.
place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because the byproduct of money, I'm sorry, the byproduct of working is money,
It's money. Yeah.
right? And so that is what a lot of us, whether you are an artist, whether you're an entrepreneur, most of us is like, man, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make this money. And then when I make this money, I'm gonna go back to the hood and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, that's cute.
Let
And
me pull up
you
in
know what I mean? Pull out,
something.
you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm money so tight, all the bitches won't fall. Like you gonna go in, you gonna
Exactly.
go in with that. But
Right.
reality really the reality to it is that it's the journey. The journey means everything.
So let me ask. So you're a trader.
Hmm.
Let's talk about, people with the fear of trading, because I think that that's one of the biggest things that stop people from getting into it. People that had extra money, and I see people go buy insurance policy before they invest in
Hmm.
trading
Hmm.
because they're like, well, this is a safer bet. But
Hmm.
what's safe? Because you and I both know that insurance policies, that insurance company closed and they sell you. Well, we I ain't gonna get into it, but it
Right,
can
right,
happen, right?
right.
So let's talk a little bit about that fear in you're a leader in trading. You're not
Yeah.
just a trader.
Yeah, I'm not. No, no. I teach.
He was a loser, but he's a winner right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And with that being said,
Fucking loser. I was a fucking loser.
fucking loser, right? But even with that, you transition, but you teach this.
Right.
So being a teacher of trading, right? And I'm gonna learn, y'all. I'm gonna learn. I'll be busy, other stuff. I got another journey, but with that being said, one of the things and I'll tell people, hey, yo, go check out my little brother page. He's a trader. You want to get into that or whatever. And then people say, oh, I don't want to. There's a lot of scams out here.
Hmm.
There's a lot of
Absolutely.
scams.
100%.
So avoiding the scams and saying they come to somebody like you who do this for real.
Hmm.
We could touch you. You're not made of AI, so we know
Hmm.
that you're a human.
Hmm.
No, you're not though. I'm gonna tell y'all about that later. Um y'all think, yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But what do you think people's the biggest fear is? Is it the losing?
Yeah, big people's biggest fear is being let down.
I like that.
Their
Okay.
biggest fear is being let down because, like, I can give you a million analogies. It's like riding a bike. You're gonna fall, you're gonna get up, you're gonna learn. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to fall in order to learn how to stay up
Right.
because you got to be able to be prepared. And people's biggest fears be to let down, because let me tell you how this process works, and it works for anybody who's ever traded. You saw a trading video,
Mm-hmm.
that joker excited you and had you like, man, all I gotta do is make this amount of money a day,
Mm-hmm.
every day. Man, I'd be straight. If I could make $1 million. And it's like 6 degrees, um, 6 degrees of being a trader.
Mm.
And people go through like the overnight success, they go through the collegiate studies, they go through mastering the demo, they go through being a trade philosopher, they go through a second income master, and then they become a trader. And
Right.
all of that, they have to go through all of that, because they don't want to let themselves down. And so, instead of being a part of the journey and learning,
Mm-hmm.
they looking at their bills like, oh, nah, overdue, nigga. I'm gonna whoop your ass if I don't get my money. Like,
Like when Pico starts sending them
right, right,
jaws
right.
out.
Like, man, Pico chased me down plenty of alleys. Um, and so, shout out to Junebug. So no, but no, but they go through that, and then they look at it, and they look at the um the fear of embarrassment,
Mm,
because that's a letdown.
right.
Um, and so when they get in the trade and they watch these people, and then it's this thing Nina called expensive excuse. I teach people about,
Hmm. Talk about it.
and most people when they get into trading,
Mm-hmm.
they immediately find the most expensive excuse.
Hmm.
So when they don't try, or when they fail, when they fall off the bike, they can say, I'm never doing this again because I spent $500 and I ain't learned nothing. I spent $2,000 and I ain't learned
I
nothing.
hear that. I hear that so much. Even with what I do. It's a different journey, but it's business. It's getting people on the right path of business, and people feel like, oh, well, I want to be in business. They have these great expectations, but the expectations for it to work immediately in business don't work like that. Business is a risk.
And I tell people, don't make me your expensive excuse. And we all have had expensive excuses. If you sit back and you think about it, if you had kids and you blamed your kids and making sure your kids are straight to why it is you didn't better your life, like you died the moment you gave life,
Right.
you made your kids an expensive excuse. If you like, oh man, I would go to college, man, but I just don't have the money to, or I will go to community college, man, but
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think, you made them your expensive excuse, because
Absolutely.
what
I
you're
like that.
losing what you're losing and giving up by not doing is far greater than
Of a
the
loss.
cost,
Yeah, yeah,
of it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so some people will, and then here's the thing, some people will spend, well, you'll be an expensive excuse, because I've had people in one of my groups, it costs 10,000 to get into,
Okay.
and then the other one it costs 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get into the 4,000 group, all of my content, my courses and everything is available.
Right.
You would
Right.
get in, and people didn't, and here's another demonized terminology, when a person say, oh man, people took advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah, you get
supposed
that a
to.
lot. You get that.
You're
You get that a
supposed
lot.
to take advantage of anything and everybody. You're not supposed to take them for granted.
That part. That
And
part.
so people will jump in and they'll take the courses and everything for granted, because for whatever reason they think, oh man, I paid 4,000 to get in, I instantly know how to trade.
Right.
Yeah, and they get on a trust and like, I ain't learned nothing. You ain't studied nothing.
Or expect you, and this, and from our perspective, another, we kind of do something similar, parallel. The expectation of you doing it for them. I can't just
I
pour
can't,
this in your
right.
head.
And then when you don't, they fall back. And then when asked, oh man, I would have did that Nina Capone thing. I'd have did that. I was in that Cuzin Cash group, man. But I ain't gonna hold you, man. I ain't learned nothing.
I ain't getting nothing out
I
of
ain't
it.
getting nothing out of it. It was a waste of money. But it was like, it was a waste of money because you made it an expensive excuse.
Right.
You're saying it was a waste of money, but it served the purpose you wanted.
Right.
People will have no problems with funding an expensive excuse to mask actually trying.
Yes. Yes.
So the biggest fear to people learning how to trade is not wanting to go past the expensive excuse stage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Because once you learn how to trade, it makes you evaluate yourself.
Right. Right.
If you have a gambling problem, if you have you got ADHD, if you got something going on, that right there,
Mm-hmm.
it exposes yourself. You can't be successful if you don't know in any business.
Right.
You can be a sole proprietor. There's a two aspect part to that,
Mm-hmm.
and there is you who make the moves, and then there's your business partner. You are your first
Absolutely.
business partner. You
Mm-hmm.
are your first investor.
Absolutely.
And so it's the letdown of letting that version of yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
So when people ask about trading, no, I tell them it's not for everybody.
Right. Right.
And then I ask simple questions. Okay, can you watch paint dry for 8 hours and get paid?
Mm-hmm.
Could you
Mm-hmm.
sit in front of their white paint, all white room, and just
Right. And just watch it dry, like, oh, okay, that
it's
shiny part
dripping,
is
it's
gone in
dripping?
that space.
Right.
You know?
If you can do that, then you have patience,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes patience to trade. If you can't do that, then that's something you should work on before you step into something that's going to take patience.
Right. Right.
Um, you know, do you prefer to gamble at a casino,
Mm-hmm.
or would you gamble your free money away like at a
Because
casino,
you don't get nothing back. It's not even,
right? Or would you prefer to save all your free money for 10 years
Mm-hmm.
to and not go out?
Right.
You can gamble, go out,
Mm-hmm.
and be good, or you could save
Mm-hmm.
your money for 10 years and never go out
Right.
for business.
And that's the thing.
You can't go out.
Right. Right. You can't.
You can't go out. No going
Right.
out. No takesies backsies.
And I think that's the commitment people aren't willing to make a lot of times,
Mhm.
because I know with my program, that's one of the things, that's part of the discovery call. Are you willing to commit? What does commit mean? It means pour everything of the 6 weeks into this. There's no such thing as an excuse to me,
Mhm.
because unless you personally fell off the roof and broke both legs and hit your head, then I'll get that.
Mhm.
But if you can sit up, get in that chair because this is your livelihood,
Right.
and I feel like commitment is a big thing. So I say that to say, what is your process in, somebody's joining your course? Because we're the same when it comes down to taking people money. We don't need your money,
Right.
but we want to help you. We created what we created to be
Right.
able to help
Right.
people, right?
Right.
So what is your process in onboarding before you say, okay, you know what, let me send you the link to sign up?
Let me tell you, I used to have a mean onboarding process. I would jump in and I would say, "Hey, this might not be for you,"
Right.
and everything. My process of onboarding is to let the work promote itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to get into my program, you got to know somebody in my program,
Okay.
right? And here's the thing: I removed the emotional aspect of wanting to see. Like, my flex was to be able to be like for instance, in trading, there is a 83% losing ratio
Okay.
in all of trading.
Right.
So that typically means only about 17% of people is successful as traders.
Which causes fear. So now, yeah.
Well, in my group alone, we have a solid 91. We had dropped
Mm-hmm.
because I've been working on other projects, so I haven't been able to get to the calls the way I want to.
Okay.
But we're still in the 91%. 91% of the people who learn from me are
Mm-hmm.
successful.
Wow.
I can honestly say that half of the percentage that purchased, and this is all out of the people who purchased the course, because we have a part in a Discord that I run
Mm-hmm.
where you can post your reviews if you're in the program,
Okay.
and they post their wins and their losses,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a 91.6 win ratio.
Okay. Wow.
Half the
That's huge.
people who do not um like who aren't successful
Mm-hmm.
didn't finish the course,
Okay.
and the other half didn't even try to trade.
Mm. Mm.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So, and the reason is I'm heavy on the psychology of trading.
Mm-hmm.
I'm heavy on you understanding who you are.
Right.
I'm heavy on you understanding that your success might not be my success.
Absolutely.
My success might not be yours. You might seem like you up, but in your mind, you struggling to stay where you are. I
Mm-hmm.
might get to where you are easily because I'm watching you do it.
Right.
And then when I get above you, now I'm struggling.
Right.
Um, and so it becomes that, you know what I
Right.
mean? So at this point, we kind of just look at a few things like, all right, well, you have to have the psychology for it. I teach that. I'm not one of these guys that you could find a million trading courses and they're teaching what's called surface trading, and they're teaching you what the indicators do and what they're supposed to do on the screen, and that's that.
Right. Right.
No,
Right.
I'm talking to
So
you
let's
first.
talk about that. Let's talk a little bit different about, because I know you teach different. I know you do for a
Right.
fact. Let's talk about how you actually, because you say you teach from a psychology level, which I know,
Hmm.
but talk about what that means opposed to what people are used to seeing. Because
So
surface
it's
trading
it's it's
is
covering
different.
you. It's
Yeah.
covering you. And when I speak about teaching from a psychological level, it's like trading is so volatile, it can make you volatile.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll lose a trade and be like, man, if I never had fucking kids, I'd be taller. Like, right, you know what I mean?
Right.
It'd be the most.
Right.
You'd be like, what? It's like, no, I really would. Like, man, when I woke up light skinned, I'm dark skinned now. And it's like, and I had 6 kids, and this fucking monkey keeps shitting on my floor. Like,
Right.
it makes you mad about everything, right?
Right. Right.
And it's like, but if you had trading psychology, it's like why? Like, most people who trade,
Mm-hmm.
they will put money in their live account and only trade.
Okay.
But most brokers provide a demo account to practice in.
Right. Right.
So I can't see wanting to become a professional fighter
Mm-hmm.
and jumping in the ring first, and then after I get my ass whooped, going to the gym.
Right. Right. Exactly.
But that's what people do,
Yeah.
because their aspirations is, I want to do what the guy online made it look so easy that I'm gonna do what he did.
And that's one of the things, even when watching you, I'm like, yo, you make it look like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna get rich tomorrow because I'm gonna join this
I'm just
Discord and I'm gonna
right.
listen in and I'm gonna see what he's
Hmm.
doing, and then I'm
Hmm.
gonna go ahead and give it, do exactly what he's
People
doing.
people do that, and then when they get in there, and then I'm talking about paint drying, and
Hmm.
I'm talking about working on yourself and stuff. They're like, hey,
Right.
with this shit, like, like, I want to know, how you hypotenuse it, and
Well, that's the thing, and I believe in business, and all business that we do is, it's a mindset. So, with my course is like generating. First, we got to make sure that you have the right mindset,
right.
because without that, you can't run a business. I don't care who you are, how
Mm-hmm.
great your business sound, or what you think you're doing. If you're a person that's all over the place, like I got people that walk in this office who got ADHD. Immediately, I can see it. They can't sit down. They want to read every single poster on the wall. They want to ask questions. They want to do this. And I'm like, okay, but can you have a seat? We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get started on this. And I know from the rip, like, this ain't gonna work for them,
Mm-hmm.
because your mindset is everything. You can have all the motivation in the world
Mm-hmm.
and still fail, because your mindset ain't ready to dive deep into that. And I think we are both techs too. So yes, he is also a tech, but I ain't gonna
Yeah,
get into
yeah.
it. But I think, from our background, from being, in the tech field, and what we do, you open a computer and you take it apart, or you go into any software, because I'm all
Mm-hmm.
software.
Mm-hmm.
You need more than patience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things we're able to see early. We've led teams, we dealt with people teaching from that aspect. What would you say, like, how do you identify that this person has patience or they don't? Because I know it's an easy spin for you now. You don't have to think about it. You can,
Mm-hmm.
aside from the superpowers that you were born with,
Come
that I
on,
like to not talk about right now.
come
But
on.
yeah, like, how do you see that in a person?
So I think the best way is, and my evaluation process is just, I evaluate people the same way. I evaluate the relationship that I'm gonna have with them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like people be pretending like they don't know who they slept with, or who they don't know who they got in a relationship with, right? And it's
Right.
like, that's because, like, I really don't care about what your favorite color is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, what school you go to. Like, I wasn't in class with you, bitch. I don't want to know. Like, when I was in my heyday, I ain't care about that.
Right. Right.
Hey, what was the last 5 years of your life like?
Right.
I used to ask girls that I knew I only wanted to, smash and keep it
Mm-hmm.
moving. And they was like, nigga, what? 5 years? I'm just trying to get fucked and go home. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
I just wanted to make sure that was your answer. So when I take you home, we good.
You're not looking for me to ask these
Right,
questions.
right, right. What was the last 5 years of your life like?
Mm.
Like, let me ask you a question. And in most cases they'll be like, their answer be why. Like, I mean, it was
That is an
pretty
odd
cool,
question. It's
right?
like,
Well, because here's the thing. Um, hey, when you worked a job,
mm-hmm.
did you ever notice that you didn't get paid for the work you did that day?
Right. If I didn't, it was a problem.
Well, okay. So maybe most people don't get paid though that
Or they
day for
don't
the
get
work.
daily. They don't get paid daily.
Right, right. So I'm talking about like bi-weekly, weekly, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that means that you got to put in the work today.
To get paid.
Right. And so everything that you received on payday didn't come from that Friday.
Right.
It came from the week
Prior.
prior to, right?
Absolutely.
So that means anything that you are going to benefit in the process, in the time that I've known you, if I
Mm-hmm.
know you for the next 5 years, everything was set up from the last 5 years.
Right. Right.
So if me and you got serious, what the fuck am I about to run into?
Right. Right.
You can be like, I don't know, I can't predict the future. You probably can't, but what was the last 5 years of your
Right.
life like?
Right.
Like, you running from somebody, like, is you, like, what was your
Yeah.
how did your relation? I never really cared about the details of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They were, oh, my last boyfriend. Look, it ain't about what y'all have, it's about what we could create. And I
Right.
keep it moving.
Right.
But I want to
Right.
know what the last 5 years of your mental fortitude is. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
because people carry things over, and then even in business, and I say, business is a relationship.
correct.
And that's one of the things, like you say, is not something that people realize they're getting into. They
Right,
you get into a marriage, you'll get into a best friendship or
right.
whatever, or whatever you get into. But when you get into business, that's a whole nother relationship. You're like, okay, because honestly, it's more of a relationship than you got at home with the husband on paper. Because at the end of the day, this is the relationship you have to really make sure it works for you, or that paycheck never comes.
Correct, correct. And so when I asked what the last 5 years of your life like, even in the evaluation, there's only two ways to be in a relationship:
Hmm.
emotional and logical. And so I need to know who I'm entering in this business relationship or this teacher student or educator student relationship. I need to
Mm-hmm.
know. And so when I'm looking at a person and I ask them those questions, and those questions, um how they answer
Right.
is how I'm able to determine if they're serious or not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they're going to tell me, hey, well, the last 5 years, I just spent a lot of time studying and trying to get better. I'm focusing on this. This is my plan. This is my goal. And a lot of people, like, planning have become
Oh,
such a
don't get
lost art now,
don't get me
because
started.
everybody is like kind of riding life through the seat of their pants. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they get to, if they luck out and they get somewhere, they gonna hold on. They stop dreaming. They focus on this one part right here,
Yes.
and then,
Then pivot don't exist.
right. And so that's what it is. It's like, and so I'm asking questions that's going to really make you have to question yourself. Like, man, like,
Mm.
damn, I ain't asked it. Man, he could have, he asked me personal questions. I'd have told him what I did with my wife last night before I told him what my last 5 years was like. But I
Right.
need to know these things because,
I'm getting in a relationship with
yeah,
you.
right, right.
Right.
We're about to be, um, we're about to be in a relationship. You know what I'm
Embark on a
saying?
journey together.
And
Yeah.
if things are successful for you, you're gonna be like, hey man, shout out cousin Cash, man.
Right.
Yo, he looked out, he did this, he did this, he did this. But then if it don't work out, you're gonna look in the camera on YouTube like he's a scam. And let me tell
Yep.
you why.
Yep. And
A-
that's real.
And,
That's
and
real.
and so it's like, all right, so now you the bitter baby mom. So
Yep.
that's the oppose. You went emotional because I kept my logic.
Right.
And
Right.
so I didn't do as much for you, or I didn't do more, and you took on that epitome, and so therefore that's what I ask. That's how I evaluate. That's how I'm
Mm.
evaluating you with by evaluating the relationship we're going to have.
Nice.
So I'm not looking at some of the other things. Well, give me a credit score. Give me. I'm not looking at that because
Right.
in business it's nothing but rapport.
That's it.
Business is nothing but action and rapport.
That's it.
You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
So it's all relationships. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it like, yo, okay, so how's your home life? How are you with your
and
kids?
and that's one of the things. I mean, it's part of my intake and discovery as well. How's your home life,
How's your
because
home
what i
life?
what i find most, doing the therapy thing for 10 years and then coming into this field and switching it up a little bit, although
Mhm.
we still address some life coaching and some emotional intelligence. We also, we want to know that those things, but it's not really prevalent to what you're going to do in business. Is what we're going to build right here today,
Mhm.
and I think that's one of the things a lot of people run from. They don't, oh well, because you don't hear it till later, till that second appointment,
Mhm.
and they like, can I talk to you? And you like,
Right.
yeah, sure, come
Right.
on,
What's going on?
have a seat. You think it's gonna be about, come on, LLC questions, and it's more or less what you think about, like when your husband act like. Girl, my husband don't do none of that. I don't know. Like girl, like we if we go there, it's going, and then you start to learn that you're looking for support from the wrong place. You hired me to support you,
Mhm.
but you want your husband to be your
I'm gonna
consultant
tell you, for
or
me,
cheerleader.
Nee, I noticed that um anybody you are on the outside of the business is who you're going to bring into the business.
Yes,
So
completely.
I ask those questions because if you tell me that you are a thief, if you're
Hmm.
honest with me, like, cuz I ain't gonna hold you, man. Like, I make my money being these.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, man, where you from? Arizona? All right, you nowhere near my crib. Oh man, right on. Right?
Good luck with that.
Right? I make my money with B&Es, but the B&E game just ain't the same.
Hmm.
And so I'm trying to get into what you're doing. The
I'm trying to do
first thing
something
I'm gonna
different.
think of is breaking and entering and all of that. You will plan to cut corners.
Automatically, and that's a,
Yep.
behavioral analysis approach of it, because we tend to bring our outside behaviors into our
Correct. You
business.
are whoever you are. And I will tell them, if you trade and whoever you are on the outside of the charts, you're that person on the inside of the charts. When everybody asks me why you start with psychology first, and I'll spend like 6 weeks on psychology before you
Hmm.
ever touch a chart. Like, why? And it's like, because if you have a gambling problem, you're gonna be just clicking away. Every move that you think is gonna be a good move to take, you're going to lose
Because
your
you're an
money
auto
fast.
risk
You're just
taker,
going
right?
right. You're just going to take it. You have to learn to compose and compartmentalize certain I won't never tell a person to compartmentalize their feelings, but I will tell them to organize them
Right, right.
and and and
And
and and
strategize your
strategize and
movement.
things.
Right,
And so,
right.
and that's pretty much where that's at. And so by the time you in week 2, week 3 of my course, like especially with the trading psychology course, you like, dang, like now I see why I'm losing in the charts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, I don't have a trading plan. I
Mm.
don't have a like I don't know what type of trader I am. Like I thought I like when you if you ask me what type of trader I am, I'm gonna tell you I'm a binary trader. I'm gonna tell you I'm a stock trader. I'm gonna tell you I'm a forex trader. But now I understand when he say what type of trader you are. I'm gonna tell him, man, I'm a high volatile trader. Like I'm a
Mm.
person who really gets off and can see my wins from a volatile chart, a chart that's all over the place that you really can't necessarily predict traditionally. Like I
Okay.
can do that.
So that's how that's determined. I know a lot of people, you hear that a question a lot. What kind of trader are you?
Yeah.
Right now you get all the scammers pushing Bitcoin. Oh, I could teach you this. I can give you this and give you that. And it's like, I was just telling somebody else, it's a million ways you can trade. You can. It's an app I use where it's like a coin something app, and you just
Coinbase.
Coinbase app.
Hmm.
You go on the Coinbase, and if you don't know how to trade or you don't know what you're doing, they have
A tutorial, yeah.
2 second, what's it, like 2 minute courses that
Hmm.
you can take and then go trade right at that very second.
Hmm.
And it works, it's profitable. But dealing with those type of things, right? And I'm not a huge risk taker. Well, I am, but I'm not, depending on my mood. I guess I'm Cancer, but like we have moods. But with that in mind, a lot of people don't understand like what type of trader they are. So talk a little bit about how that you teach, if you teach that,
Hmm.
and how that's identified.
That's number one. So number one, the first thing I'm going to ask you is what type of trader you are.
Hmm.
And if you don't know, I'm going to define what that question means.
Okay.
Um, I don't care what you trade because the trading psychology is about your trading personality.
Mm.
So we need to figure out what type of trader you are. What's your trading personality? How does this work? How does these things factor in with certain aspects of your trading?
Right.
Um, that's why I ask simple questions like, "Hey, can you watch paint dry? Um, can would you prepare? Do you ever see yourself preparing to run a marathon?
Hmm.
Um, what's your most accomplished goal? What's your biggest turn off about yourself?
Right.
um these are not small talk questions. These are questions that's going to help you identify certain ticks that you're going to have. um are you an aggressive leverager or are you an aggressive trader? And the
Hmm.
difference is an aggressive leverager could take their time with trading, but will trade or will leverage the house. They'll put it all
Right. Right.
in
Right.
one trade. An aggressive trader could leverage at such a low value. Like I'm only going to trade like in binary, I'm only going to trade $1. I got a $5,000 account. I'm only going to trade $1.
Hmm.
But then you tap the button 30 times. So you
Right.
technically traded $30,
$30. Right.
right? You know what I mean? And
Right.
so you got that. And then so I'm asking these questions.
Hmm.
So when it comes to like when I teach you, I'm gonna find out what type of person you are because not everybody have the same learning curve.
That.
I'm going to teach you the
Mm,
same material, but I'm going to cater it to your learning curve by telling
right.
you this is how you should interpret it from this perspective. If you're standing here, you
Right.
should be looking at it from here.
Yeah, and that's super important. Understanding, the learning differentials,
Hmm.
because I know a lot of people are visual and
Hmm.
they want to see you do it. They learn from that. And then some people they can go by notes. I call them, the SOPs. I
Hmm.
can give you a list of SOPs and just follow these directions every time and you'll be good.
Hmm.
But then you have people who they need the
The
handheld,
hands up,
and
right,
they're like,
right,
okay, so now you're gonna do this. Well, how do you feel? Do you feel like, so I
right,
think that's huge and worth the money,
right,
when it comes down to investing in you.
right,
You're getting your ROI, because 90% of the consultants, the trading trainers, any business that you think you getting into are
hmm
not going to hold your hand
no,
or worry about your particular personality when starting, that journey with
no,
you.
not at all. In fact, I'll go as far as saying in this industry, a lot of the information is cookie cut. So what I mean by that is like, um, I only I went viral. I only put out 8 YouTube videos.
Mm,
And the reason why I only put out 8 YouTube videos is because those videos are going to run. They're going to circulate. It's not like okay, nobody's ever going to see him again. Like I don't make my money from YouTube, so I don't have to put up 1,000 YouTube videos teaching you the same thing over and over again with different thumbnails.
Right. Exactly.
Like I don't have to do
Exactly.
that, right?
Exactly.
I got 8 YouTube videos up there, and what I did that separates me from people who've done it
Mm-hmm.
is I'm going to really teach you in them YouTube videos. My I'm not putting up a 5-10 minute YouTube video. You get an hour long YouTube
Mm.
video, right?
Right.
So roughly to say, I put up almost like 8 hours of YouTube videos, right?
Right.
And I can tell you that within that time frame, you're going to learn how to trade in them 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it going to make you a phenomenal trader? No, that's more education. That's like you're going to learn how to read,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
But
You learn the base
but
words.
right, once you learn how to read, can you read a collegiate book like a
Right.
college scale book? No, you
Right.
still got more you got to learn,
Absolutely.
but for the most part, you're going to learn how to read
Right.
though.
Right.
And so the first thing I do to get people in my program is I get them winning.
Mm.
I get them winning. Like and it go back to my street solicitor days. It goes back to that because back then I was taught you could pass off a demo. Here, take
Eh,
this. And if
absolutely.
it's good,
And
you're gonna
they
come
coming
back.
back. Right.
And
Right.
so when I teach you to win, you're gonna be like, and then you're gonna use it and in typical fashion, you're gonna beat the dead horse. And it's like it's really all about using it enough. Now, some people have taken it, they marginalize the
Mm-hmm.
information and they're successful with it. And they're like, man, I ain't have to pay him nothing. But they'll reach out to me, yo, cousin Cash, man, I took I was on your YouTube, bro.
Right.
And then I answer. People be on YouTube and then I'll answer right back. And they'll be like, oh, he really answered. And then
Right.
don't
Right.
get on my YouTube talking shit because I'm
Right. Because
still
I'm
from
I'm
Philly.
for it.
So
I'm for it.
I get on. I get on, man. And I get on and
Right.
threaten to arm wrestle your grandma.
Oh my God.
So I'm
Right.
old enough to know better, young enough to still be with the shit.
Listen,
So
always with it. Right.
and so I'm never there's people in the industry that you know abuse it. Um abuse it.
Yeah, and let's just real quick, we'll just jump on that for a second. When we talk about people who are in this industry, who are trading, who are teaching
Mhm.
trade, or who are making financial gain, and then there's people who aren't, but look like they're making financial gain from
Right.
trading. So let's talk a little bit about them and how that disrupts, people like yourself.
It don't. I thought it would, but I'm more of a disruption to them than they are to me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I challenge them. Like so I remember it was a popular YouTuber. Um I was in a YouTube group.
Right.
I kind of fell into that, right? And we were good. And then the YouTuber, he had ran out of content.
Mm.
And it was to the point where he showed off his house. Now he started showing off his house, like, hey, y'all, check out my arcade room and all this other stuff and all
Hmm.
of that. And it was like, people loved this guy and revered him as being a really great YouTuber. He was a young dude. He is a young dude, a
Right.
young black dude with a wife and with kids and everything.
Hmm.
And so he knew nothing about binary. In fact, in one of the videos he showed that he was trying to learn about binary, he was getting cooked.
Okay.
And so I I specialize in binary trading.
Hmm.
It's easy. It's not it's fast and it's to me it's easy to teach when you know what you're doing. It's not
Okay.
a run of the mill thing like I
Right.
just figured it out. Like no, I know what I'm doing. So
Right.
so and it's also intimidating because see with binary, if you leverage a dollar,
Hmm.
your payout could be like at most 98 cents.
Okay.
So you like you get your dollar back plus the 98 cents. But
Right.
if you lose the trade, you lose the dollar.
Got you.
Well, like
Got you.
Forex, and so if you leverage a dollar and it go the wrong way for 5 seconds, you could be down $500 or blow the whole account,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And so, but this particular guy, people loved him. You know what I'm saying? And what was happening is it was so many videos about him being a scam.
Mm.
And I used to support the hell out of this guy because I was like, yo, man, like I would support his page just because I was like, yo, this young black dude is doing his thing.
Right.
I'm gonna support it.
Right.
And so I would hop on. I'd be the first one in the comments, right? I had to learn not to be like that so as much. But I'd be the first one in the comments, man, fuck out of here. You just blah, blah, you just mad it's not working for you, whatever.
Right.
Meet the guy. Again, he presents himself well and everything, cool or whatever. And so to make a long story short, he's running out of content. I joined the trading group he's in, and then one of the members, um, he was a guy trying to find his way. He genuinely didn't fit. He was trying to
Okay.
find his way. And basically he was trying to live off of, like, you could clearly see he was trying to loan. He had nothing going on outside of trading.
Right.
Um, once I got in the group and the other two, I talked to the other two, I found out that he was the one guy that really wasn't doing well with trading.
Mm.
He could explain to you, and this is what I mean by, like, he became a collegiate trader. Like, he can explain to you in the most collegiate terms,
Mm-hmm.
and really sell you on, man, you know what he's talking
He's
about.
a great YouTuber.
He could not execute a trade to save his life.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so it's like he knew what he was looking at, but the fear of lack of execution.
Mm-hmm.
So to make a long story short, man, um I was teaching him something that the broker I was on stepped up
Mm.
after me and this guy promoted him, but they was real raggedy.
Okay.
They would kick you out your account. You be in your live account trading, you get kicked to your demo account. You'll win live money. Demo signs will pop up and all of that. It was
Oh
just
wow.
it was just
Yeah, that's sloppy.
it was a bad broker, but
Right.
the broker wasn't bad. But again, with binary trading, half of the trading community feel as though it's too risky to trade. It's like gambling, and the other half thinks that it's too technical to be gambling.
Okay.
So it's a gray area of trading.
Okay.
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 And so long story short, these dudes concocted a whole video about how I could have been winning. So they like, oh, he manipulating the chart, he manipulating the broker and all this other stuff. They went, went ham with this joint, right?
About you.
About me. Now, what I found out is most of these dudes had never, the guy with the big YouTube page.
Right.
If for those, and most people is going to see this and be like, I know exactly who he's talking about, right? But this is all facts, right?
Right. Right.
And so what it is what he did was he did everything on that YouTube page to make it pop. Trading in 2018 just made it pop for him.
That's it.
So to make a long story short, he he recorded a session without my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked me, after making me aware of it, he asked me if he could kind of show it on his page, and then he wanted me to come on his page. And he went on Instagram and was like, yo, this guy just made $12,000 and like literally in my face in like less than 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, my Instagram went crazy because this guy he's a big name
Right.
in the trading community.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's a big name, but so was Millie Vanilli.
Talk about it.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like, you know me, I don't care who see it, because the truth is, this guy and the group I was in before I got there had like 30 scam videos on them.
Wow.
And I know the internet is the internet. It's always gonna be somebody like, yeah, it's a scammer. I'm gonna be like, you're nobody. Big told us you're nobody, so somebody kill you.
That's it.
And so the reality to it is always going to be somebody that's going to just genuinely not like your success. So I don't worry about that, right?
Right, right.
So that's a part of the game. So that's how I looked at the situation, man. That's a part of the game. And then I got a chance to see that it wasn't as much a part of the game, because and shout out to like I said, I won't say no names, but one of them, me and him was building a really good rapport with each other, man. And he was like, yo, Cass, like, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, me and so would go over to his house. We never seen him trade. Yeah, we would do trade videos where we would be in a trade with him.
Right.
We never actually seen him trade. And I watched his YouTube account go from like this amount of people to like 70,000 to like 175,000 subscribers.
Wow.
He went out, bought a mansion, everything, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the people was under the impression that it was from trading.
Mm-hmm.
It was not from trading, though. It was from affiliate links. He would find a way to get an affiliate link, have you like, yeah, go to this broker, click this link, go to this broker. And the way them things work is, for every dime you lose, every dollar that you lose, everything you lose, some of them brokers will break you off up to 60%.
Right.
So if I don't teach you how to win and you lose, I'm winning.
Right. Right. I'm making money.
You
I'm
losing.
making money. Right.
So now I'm showing you I'm winning, but you losing. It was to a point where this guy had
Wow.
never
That's deep.
traded with people live. Here I am, I'm trading live, I'm trading at conventions, all of this stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah, he don't have that money in his account. Okay. And then I was working with a MLM company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's another bad way to get into trading. Like them MLMs is like it's crazy because they entice you with the idea of trading. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But it's like, but if you bring 3 people, we gonna
Yep.
teach you how to do.
Yep. Yep.
And so I was watching how that MLM company was bringing in $600,000 a month
Mm.
after I joined because everybody wanted binary, and it was hard to find a binary teacher.
Right. Right.
All right, that ain't work out. I said, you know what? We parted ways, right? Keep in mind, 2 of the 3 members of that group I was in had stole strategies from me. I'm talking about stole and was selling them.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so fast forward to that, I'm on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm on my own, the strategy that he stole from me, he was like, "Hey, can you get on this play?" And I got it. Like anybody that know me that was in my group, they know, yo, I have the screenshots from Instagram.
Absolutely.
Right,
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
keep the
That's what we
receipts
do.
because that's yeah, like that's the game you playing
Right.
because y'all made this video. So what I did was I purposely left the broker
Mm-hmm.
and went to another broker. I said this was always my favorite broker, but I went to that broker, funded it, and I showed people how I funded it.
Mm.
And I took the account from like a funding of like maybe I'm gonna say in total I probably funded it $1,900.
Okay.
So I probably funded it 3 or 4 times and made $1 million+ in the
Mm-hmm.
account. And people, mind you, I'm doing this on the calls with people.
Right.
But to add insult to injury, I knew that he couldn't do something because he was trying to like he was setting it up like, yeah, let me show y'all this is my real account and everything. Because I ain't never think I had to do that.
Right. Right.
So
Because
when
you.
he was doing it, that was the setup.
Right.
Okay. So but I I play chess. I don't get mad, I get even. So since you doing that,
Mm-hmm.
I've already dominated this.
Right.
And so the asterisk was like, hey, if y'all don't remove that guy from your trading group, I'm going to expose the video. The one dude was so worried that the brand was going to get destroyed. He said, Cash, we got allegations was brought up. They was never proven to be false. I said they was also never proven to be true either.
Right.
Right. But whatever, that's cool. This is your group. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a slide. Next thing you know, the guy that was all Forex and then ran out of Forex content, now he's a binary guru.
Oh,
He
you're
had
a
a
binary
now
guru now.
he's a binary guru. In fact, he said he has a video. It's still up. The first video, but he re-edited the video. The video was like, hey, remember this guy? And then it showed footage of being at a convention
Mm-hmm.
where he said, yo, how much money did you make? And I'm like, oh, I did this amount of money. It was like 800,000 in a day or whatever.
Right.
And
Right.
he was like, you know how some people say that type of stuff and you think it's cap? He said, well, I'm here to tell you it's true. That's what he said in the video.
Okay.
He re-edited the video and said, hey guys, remember I told you all I was doing binary? Well, I figured it out. And then he drops it. And now he's teaching my strategy. But
Wow.
in a 2-minute video, at the 2-minute mark, he says, Kashmir told me to fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now people asking, well, that was weird. Who the hell is Kashmir? Oh, Kashmir is that guy that was in the man. I thought he was in this video. People started looking for me.
Mm.
And then there was a bunch of his faithful followers. You were a fraud. You just done the third and everything. So
Wow.
what I would do
So
was
you expose yourself.
well, I'll tell you what, if I'm a fraud, you know what I mean? Because like I was having a live and then when his a couple of his fucking his fans or so
Mm-hmm.
hopped on. They thought they was gonna troll me. I ain't
Right.
even for the shit. I'll tell you what, we could bring you on live and everything. I said you could DM me personally. I'll give you my number. I sent my number here.
Right. Right.
They called me. Yo, as soon as they called me, they knew it had to be something. That shit piped down.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, hey, nah, man, I'm just trying to figure out because I said, no, let me screen share. Screen share on iPhone, go to
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, type his name in, pull up the messages of him begging to show my strategy.
Wow. Wow.
Blue check. It's the blue check right here. So this
Mm-hmm.
ain't one of his. When you in our position, you get cloned a lot. I got a lot of fake pages of me, right? And
Absolutely.
sometimes they reach out.
Right.
Hey, let me teach you
Yeah,
about
because I
Bitcoin. And you be
got one,
like,
and I'm
dude,
like,
I'm
"Why
on
don't
the
you just
phone with
call
you
me?"
now, right?
Look, yeah, I had to do that. I was like, "Why don't you just call me?" Like, what are you talking
So
about?
so I had to go through that, and I went through that several times, and then it got
Hmm.
to the point where when people was asking, "Hey man, it's not working out for me. How did you do this?" and he was responding in his own comments, "Well, it worked for me." Because he wouldn't teach them. He was adding other indicators to the strategy so to make it seem like it was something he found.
Because he needed people to lose at this point, so he can
People got to
collect his,
lose
yeah.
because
So that's the
he's
only
an
way he
affiliate,
can.
right?
Right.
And so what he would do is, and them affiliate checks could get big when you got the following base he got.
I do some affiliate.
So
Yeah, I know.
he would take like if he's getting 15,000 a week, he could take one $15,000 check, put it in the account, and trade from it, and it make it look like he grinded up to the 15,000.
Exactly. Exactly.
So from that point, he was doing that, got his wife involved, and I was chilling.
Hmm.
And then he was like, "Yeah, the wife is gonna drop a course on binary." Now I sat back and I felt bad because when he was losing, people was hitting me up like, "Didn't you teach so and so and so?
Right.
Y'all some scammers." And
Right.
I'm like,
Like, I ain't got to do with him.
"What the no? Like, y'all some scammers." And I'm like, "No."
Right.
So I was cleaning up a lot of his mess. I said, "You know what? Soon as he announced he was going to drop a course, and then the other board, the real nut board of the group was like, I'm gonna drop a binary course. So y'all trying to run. Okay. I said, so what I did was I erased all my photos off of Instagram,
Hmm.
dropped my logo and said loading.
Hmm.
And when I did that, everybody's in my stories.
Mm.
Yo, him, other members, everybody's in my stories because they're infamous for getting exposed. There's one
Right.
guy that was trying to make a part of them, exposed them, told the whole truth, but then he was just so wanting to be down with them, he tried to retract. I didn't mean that stuff.
Wow.
Nah, like I ain't gotta say a word. I could just literally drop the screenshots.
That's crazy. So all this went on,
All this is going
and
on. This is what pushed me to be the educator
right, right,
because
right.
I'm from Philly, so I'm very competitive.
And that's so funny. That's one of the things that we are, and I am as well. As you know,
Hmm.
we play chess, and
We
we
play
play
chess.
chess.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things I think. A lot of people think they can compete with you,
Right,
and
right.
I find it hilarious for people to even look like they think they can compete with me,
Well,
and we let them.
and we let him, right, like, and that was the thing. I ain't say nothing. Here's the thing. I could have shut him down real bad, but
Right,
I thought about a few things. I said, "Yo, dude he's a YouTuber. He's not a trader.
right. It's a difference.
He's selling content."
Right.
So I looked at what I was against, and I was like, the thing about people is, in most cases, um, and this is to anybody, if you are a consumer, you ain't made $1 being a consumer.
Talk about it.
So most of the people even watching this are consumers, and that's fine. It's not nothing against you, but just remember that if you're looking to make money, you have to lessen the properties of being a consumer. And so when you're dealing with
Mm.
this type of climate now, the troll culture,
Yes.
the trolls are all consumers. They want to consume content and they want you to do something wrong so they can fire back and be like, you're a fraud, you're a scam, you're this, you're that.
Right.
So I'm looking at it like, well, all the people that hinges their success on him,
Hmm.
everybody's going to want to like fire off.
Right. Absolutely.
So instead of me saying, yo, he's this bad guy,
Hmm.
I'm going to, I remember, I'll never forget this. I had just came back from Philly
Hmm.
and I had COVID.
Oh wow, that's
And I had
fun.
just got right. I just got over. I had never had COVID until I visited home. And I leave. I go back to Florida,
This is
and I
Philly.
do the first video. And if you go on my YouTube channel, the first video, I'm in a blue hoodie with my logo on it, and my voice is trashed. And I purposely shout them out. So if
Hmm.
you wanted to know who I was talking about, you would go on there and you'd be like, "Oh shit, him!"
Hmm.
And I shout him out. Shout out, you know what I'm saying? But the original, the video is labeled the original, the name of the strategy.
Okay. Okay.
And so
I remember when you developed your strategies.
yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
so I'm like, hey, this what it is, and I broke down how it was used.
Hmm.
And mind you, I had found so many other people use my strategy, and they were saying my name and his name. Well, so and so said that Cashmere had said, and
Hmm.
and and I was just like, and I would chime in like, hey, if y'all ever really want to learn how to properly do it, I have no problems with helping y'all
Right.
because they wasn't. You could tell that video was posted not for views, but it was like it was posted because there was like a camp of people trying to
Trying
do
to
their thing.
learn, trying to learn,
Well,
right.
he was posting that shit for views, and so telling
Mm.
people he developed it, all this other craziness and everything, trying to threaten me with a video that didn't exist. Like they made the video,
Right.
but was like, I'm going to post this, and so and shout out to another guy, a mutual friend that was like, yo, let him post it. They was like, Cash, can you send us screenshots of your account? I said, yeah, I can. It's
Right.
55,000 in the account, but I could do so.
Right. Right.
And then I had already had screenshots. And then the moment, I knew it was a setup because every time I say I had something, they just so happen to call and be like, oh, and if he say he has this, that's not the case because, and it was just like, yo, y'all, like, this is weird.
It got weird, right?
So I go to this other broker and I run up a bag, but they have a leaderboard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about that broker is about 50,000 people trading at the same time.
Okay.
I'm number one every day. Every day I'm number
so the
one.
leaderboard expose you,
So
basically.
the leaderboard exposes not only that you're the number one trader,
right,
but how much you made.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be like, I will purposely be number one, posted on my Instagram, going about my business. I don't care about staying number one,
right,
because dude couldn't hit number one consistently. Like he'll, one time he popped out, hey y'all, just to let y'all know my strategies work, I'm on Quotex. This is one of my favorite brokers.
Right.
And then it got to the point where we from Philly, so we say things like John, like our lingo was different.
Absolutely.
He starts sounding like me in the videos, like
he's literally talking like you.
Because what it was is he was studying the video that he had bootlegged of me and him on a call.
Okay.
So he's studying how I'm saying it and he's regurgitating it in his videos, right?
Okay.
And so after a while, I put loading on the Instagram. Everybody watching. What is he about to do? They thinking I'm gonna expose him. Everybody trying to get their shit together. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that. And then I drop a course, and I say, "Hey, I'm gonna drop this course. It's gonna be $100 to get it."
Mm-hmm.
I dropped the course. When I dropped the course, it did numbers. When he dropped the course for $100.
Mm-hmm.
I know he made millions from that course.
Right.
But all the course taught you was the indicators.
Nothing.
So everything he learned from YouTube, he put into this $100 course.
Of course.
His man was in real estate, one of the group members. He out of nowhere was teaching people how to be in real estate. His man trying to warn him, like, bro, you can't go around talking about you gonna teach them how to earn 7 figures in real estate, and the only house you ever bought was the one you live in. You can't do that, right?
Right.
But
need a portfolio.
Anything that he could do for YouTube. And that's how messy this situation is. So this is like, they didn't understand how I was able to stay afloat, but I was in music for 30 some odd years. So now, you know what I'm saying? This is the exact same thing.
Right.
And so sure enough, I'm talking about, if you go to his page, he has probably thousands of videos. And those videos are like, especially in the binary, the 80 or 90% of it is BS. I'm gonna even say 95 to 97% is BS. And then it was to the point where I was noticing that my course video, like my variations of what I was teaching, now is on his YouTube. Like, yo, you done bought my course. Like, dude's my biggest fan, like, for sure. And it's crazy because, again, he'll present it off, haters is gonna hate and all this other stuff, but it's like, bro, like, what's my name, Ning?
Cash.
Yeah, so it's apparently it's a common trader name.
Right.
Apparently it's a common trader name, I guess. But, no shots fired, but
all shots fired.
But for the most part,
hit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so for the most part, but I appreciate him. Because when you play chess, his team was trying to shelf me because of my impact. The little one was like, yo, man, he's charismatic, he's funny, he's, people like him. And the plans that I have for my videos, it's like, yo, nobody's looking for in the chat. He's like, yo, man, nobody even wants Forex no more. Can I teach them? And then you come onto my channel. And I was supposed to go out to where they live at on the West Coast. And I ain't like the little boy. And I was like, yo, I know I'm gonna end up trashing boy. So I'm gonna stay home. And I stayed home. And then all of that nonsense happened. And so, but he was like, nobody wants Forex. And it was the truth. And so now he's out of content. I'm talking about he's out of content. And now I rejuvenated his YouTube career, which is great. I feel good and I feel honored that I was who he was able to um draw would be too respectable steal from.
Right. Right.
Um I'm honored that I was able to help him because dude got a family. He got a wife, he got kids, you know what I'm saying? And then I also looked at it like this. Um because of him being a fraud when it comes to trading,
Right.
when you come across me and I'm teaching you step by step by step by step, and I'm starting with your mental dialect
Right.
before
Right.
you touch the chart.
Mm-hmm.
You can quit. He ain't teach me nothing. That's what I got a course for. My course is $250. You ain't got to join my group. Spend it $250. You want to learn the strategies, learn the strategies that way.
Right.
But if you want to learn how to trade, this is what you got to do.
Right.
Because of people like him and a couple of other these traders, it preserves my essence. It preserves my genuine nature to want to see people succeed. Because
Right.
the flex ain't my car. It
Right.
ain't my house.
Right.
It ain't the jewels. The flex is how many people I've made successful. So when if we had to get into a dick swinging contest,
Mm-hmm.
I could pull out the cars, I could pull out
Right. Right.
the houses,
But
but
it's like you do what you do for purpose,
mhm,
not for the winning, because money is just a tangible object. And honestly, in our world, if you really understand it, money don't really do anything for you. It's a piece of paper. And
mhm,
then even more so now than anything.
than anything.
So it's like you have to, your asset is you.
Mhm,
One of the things I tell people, like, don't nobody care about people come in and be like, oh, I don't know if this is a good fit for me because I actually do this or sell this or do this. Don't matter.
mhm,
The foundation that you need is
mhm,
these three things,
mhm.
and for me, it's like teach operations, um,
Oh my
technology,
god.
and marketing. If you don't have those things in business, then you don't have a business. And it's very much just that simple.
Um.
So we try to stay. I personally, I think a lot of people get stuck when you're in your field. You're looking at really educating people on something very specific, a task, right? To constantly do something. Your teaching commitment, because
Mhm.
again, people walk to these fields that they want to be in because one, it looks easy. I've watched your lives and cracked myself up because I know better. And I'm like, if he's doing, I don't trust you on
Mhm.
the level of saying if something's easy to you, I'm like, I'll never be able to do it.
Oh man.
Like, but I do understand.
Oh
I
man.
see how easy you make things look. And then I had to also, watching you do stuff made me understand that I gotta slow down and help people a little more
Mhm.
myself, because I'm like, we
How
do
easy you're
stuff
making stuff
right.
look.
I'm on here, blah 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 blah. Oh, you just build a
A
website like
website.
this,
Yup.
or you just
Mhm.
oh, you could just build the back end of a database like this. All you got to do is put this here and here. Don't you just know? You just look at the codes and it, they kind of tell you what to do next. And people are like, what you mean?
Right.
Like, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I take that takes me back to a time you sat on the front porch one day,
Mhm.
and I don't know what it is. You coded this 3D, this animation. You did an
Mhm.
animation
Mhm.
that cracked me, took me
Tweet
out.
my
I was
shit.
like,
Was it tweet my shit?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these are the things I say when it comes down to having this skill set, this talent,
Yeah.
we can't be selfish with it.
Right. Right.
And like you said, okay, he drew all of this from you. He just took a lot of energy, that
Oh
he
no,
need he
he
needed it.
blatantly stole, but he needed it.
He needed it. And
And
that's what I'm
and my
saying.
genuine nature was like I could be like blasting,
Right,
right?
right, right,
I could be like I could blast him. And sometimes when I want to blast him, it's because bro, like you're not as genuine as you put yourself off because I get a lot of people, so shout out to him for being a business. This goes back to when I'm telling you, I disrupt them more than they disrupt me
right, right,
because people will pay him the money he asks for.
right,
It not work and then come to me and then learn how to trade.
right,
So
right.
they'll pay me. Um, so the wife said, "What's up?"
Tell her I
Um,
said hey. I know we just get into it, and this is great though, because I feel like a lot of people don't know who you are. They'll see you talking about the different things that you've done, or just see you trading in general and say, well, where he come from, the long line of the stuff that you did that got you to trading, because you didn't just wake up and say, I'm going to be a trader. this is what I want to do, this is what I want to get into, but more or less, had to come up with a pivot, an alternative. And I feel like for a lot of people out here right now, find you something to pivot to, find
Mm-hmm.
something, try something. It's not, like you said, it's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everybody, but it's worth the try. It's
Right.
worth the try. And I do like how you say your courses where they can jump in and get their feet wet. And if it ain't for them, dry your feet off, get out and walk away. But that's one of the things I feel like getting that taste of something. Even
Mm-hmm.
for business, I tell people, hey, we'll come in out, we can go over the aspects of a business. And if that overwhelms you, then I'll suggest you don't spend money on an LLC.
Mm-hmm.
Because, take that money and go invest it in something else. Go get you a Spotify and put some products on it and just do that. Don't even worry about this right now. But, we've transitioned into a world where fast money is the way to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
For everybody. Everybody think that, but I just kind of, we going to end this off with fast money ain't fast.
Yeah, fast money. So, damn, fast money ain't fast. Um, I,
How fast is fast money? Because how you remember when I started my business
mm-hmm.
and we sat there, we laid on the floor in the living room, and every idea was a piece of paper that we balled up and moved to the side. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I'm gonna do it like this. No, I'm gonna do it
Mm-hmm.
like this. No, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do it like this. I was like, I'm gonna just build websites. I don't even care about the rest of this stuff right now.
Right, right,
But it was still my business consulting.
right.
Like I had a vision,
That's very
but
true.
I didn't know what the vision was.
That's funny. Fast money ain't fast. I'm gonna say, let me take it a different approach.
Mhm.
If you take money out of a
I
wallet,
got money. Can I go grab some money? Because
yeah.
I feel like you need money in your hand right now. I'm gonna give him money. I know you're gonna laugh at me, but I feel like I should have had the prop in here. So as you people can see, we're gonna go ahead and hand him some money. He don't even see this coming. We're gonna
Okay.
go ahead and hand you some
Okay.
money.
All right. So I just need one of these. I just need one of these.
Okay, we're gonna take the money back, y'all. We're
Right.
gonna take the money back. Because we just got money laying around.
Okay. So this is typically the position your money is in.
Right.
Right. Okay. You notice that this references a situation where you're on a chair,
Right.
like you're
Sitting
sitting.
down. Right,
Right.
right.
Now, if I lay if I lay the money out like this, now it's like the money is on his back with his feet up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you on your back with your feet up, most likely you're comfortable.
Right. Right.
Okay, so now this is in your pocket or this is in your purses, this is
Mm-hmm.
in your wallets.
Right.
This is the position of lazy money,
Mm. Okay.
right?
Okay.
This is lazy money, and the
Mm-hmm.
reason why this is lazy money is because look at the position. It's telling you, it's relaxed. It's sitting up when it wants, sitting down.
I'm comfortable.
Now, a lot of people got their money in their pockets or their purses like this, right?
Right.
But you ever notice how when you go to the bank and you get the labels and they give it to you, this money and this money are in two different positions.
Right.
Now, as a soldier would, a soldier is going to stand straight up in attention, waiting for a command.
Right. Right.
This is money working for you. This is money being lazy.
Right.
You
I
see?
like it. I see it.
And so reality is you got lazy money and you're trying to be successful with lazy money. You're working for it. It's
Mm-hmm.
demanding that you go out and get it company, maybe two, three other right bills
Mm-hmm.
to sit with it, right?
Right.
And now and the laziness
Mm-hmm.
that is in, right? And the laziness that is in. Now you got a ton of this going
Right.
on.
Right.
Multiple lazy dollars. And you
Mm-hmm.
know what this is going to happen? You're going to struggle and struggle and struggle. And then when something happens, it's going to go where the money is. It's going to go where the money is. Most people don't make money because they don't go where the money is at. The block is
Mm.
not where the money is.
Right.
Right. And so if I want to, put up a hang a door or something like that, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to use a hammer
Right.
and I'm going to bang this hammer and in the process. But if I don't own a hammer, I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'm going to go to Lowe's. I'm going to
Gotta go
go where the
buy
tools are.
a hammer.
Money is the tool
Right.
because if you allow it to pimp you, your money is in this position.
Mm-hmm.
If you are working the money and you pimping the money is in this position. It's an
Right.
attention, it's ready. And look at the fluidity that's in this to this,
Right. Right.
right? It's a lot stiffer when it's in this position.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's a situation where it's in this position,
Mm-hmm.
it's fluid.
Right. Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying?
It
And
moved different.
it moves completely different.
Right.
That is how we function. That's how we're supposed to function. And
Right.
most of us don't. We're worried about folding money.
Right. Right. So how do you what would be your advice to a person who's looking for that soldier money, that money that's standing up straight out the bank, type money, opposed to the money that we've been brainwashed to want and need, which is the folding money. A
Right.
lot of us, we're taught college, school, hot from grade 1 to kindergarten is to get a job. We're not taught to become our own success or become the fluid
Mhm.
of how we move. We're not taught that. So what would be your suggestion just for a young person looking in, or a person who's been working in a career for the last 27 years, 30 years, and say, I need change. This is not it. I don't have I had 18 jobs and I don't have a 401k, which is not guaranteed, but I don't have that. What would you
My
suggest for them
biggest
to get to?
advice would be to determine who they are first. Are you a boss or are you a supervisor?
Mm-hmm.
And you are, and it's easy to determine that um, when you look at where you work. Like for instance, a business does not hire a boss;
Right.
they hire supervisors.
That's it.
Um, but I would honestly tell somebody young or somebody that's trying to career change is this, and it's going to be hard to hear, but it's like if you know who you are, then you may not need to leave. If you are a worker bee and you're a supervisor, then stay where you are
Yeah.
and
Some
climb the
people,
ladder.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if you are like, man, I need better, I need something that I need to go out after, I need to go out and get it. And I want to go out and get it, I want to go out and get it, I want to go out and get it. If that is the case, then what you need to do is you genuinely need to determine if you are a boss, then only bosses, they say fire your job. Only your boss can fire their job.
Absolutely.
Don't fire your job
Absolutely.
if you're a supervisor.
Right, because and I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. Everybody thinking they're a boss, and being a boss is not the correct answer all the time. Because
Right.
I think say, are you a boss or are you a worker? And people say I'm a boss. That's like, if you feel like that's the right answer, but in reality it's not. It may not be your reality. You may not be a boss, you may not be ready to do boss like things, because being a boss, I can say, comes with difficult times and struggle.
Right.
Are you ready to endure those things? And that's one of the things I find people aren't really ready to do. And I could tell you, because I'll put them on a payment plan and they'll stop and say, oh, I can't even pay for this no more. Why? This is what you signed up to do,
Right.
to complete this course, and you
Well,
supposed to work to get the money to do it.
but you said that like it's not a common, like that's nothing that you can teach. People want to have knowledge that they don't seek for.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you ask that question, what would you tell people? I would say, hey, what I would honestly tell people is that one, determine who you are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and when I say determine who you are, like genuinely determine who you are. Don't try to be a supervisor and become a boss if that's not in you.
Right.
Just be a dope supervisor. Is we need lawyers, we need doctors,
We
we
need
need scientists,
firemen,
we
we need
need
police
waitresses,
officers, we
we
need
need
waitresses, we need all these
restaurant managers,
technicians,
we need, right.
plumbers.
So you don't have to own your own business to be successful. And
Right.
I listen to a lot of these gurus talk that shit about you got to own your own. You do have to own your own money. That's true.
Yes.
But you have to own your own money. um you can go get real estate and then have a real estate company manage it,
Absolutely.
and because you might not be good at being a boss,
Right.
right? And so I do believe that you should produce your own money. But if you are better at being a worker bee, we need that. So there's nothing against that. I don't want nobody to think that is bad because they work a 9 to 5.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
don't work a job, work a career.
Right.
If you are in a career for 27 to 30 years, and you still got that, man, I could be doing better situation, then you could possibly be a boss, and you could be afraid of it. Sometimes we're afraid of who we are, or who we could become,
Right.
or so you need to evaluate who you are first. Like, sit down in a room in front of a mirror, nobody around, no music, no sound, just you and you.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to stop demonizing talking to ourselves. I talk to myself all the time. I will walk down the street with the phone to my ear like I'm talking to someone, and I'm talking to me. And I
Mm-hmm.
do the phone thing for their pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm glad I got headphones because I'll do that. And the reason for it is, man, the best relationship to have is one with yourself.
Right.
You got to know who the hell you
Because
are.
once you self identity is everything. It was the
Key.
first book I ever wrote, and I live by it. I didn't write it for y'all. I wrote it for me.
Mhm.
And self identity actually starts the journey for any direction that you're going to go. Because I do believe that, like you said, people, everybody's not. I mean, most of my knowledge, my college was school, right?
Mhm.
Got foundation of how to do some things.
Mhm.
But most of my knowledge came from the jobs that I worked. I took
In the field.
trainings.
Mhm.
I went to, I climbed the ladder by saying volunteering to do stuff that I knew I wasn't going to be paid. And I know
Right.
you heard me cry many and many a times,
Mhm.
like they don't even pay me for this, but they keep
Well,
calling me.
let me stop you there, and to round out the answer. Um, the more valuable you are to any business, the less pay you deserve.
Absolutely.
When you recognize that, then you'll be able to determine if you're a supervisor or a boss.
Perfect.
Because if you run around like, I could do every single job in this month, right?
Yes.
And they don't want to go up 50 cents, right? When you
Yeah.
when you do that, understand that you might be in the corporate world. Being a jack of all trades and a master of none is the biggest kryptonite, because yes,
Hmm.
you that means that I could put you in these places, right? But because you can do all of these things, you'll never get your worth from a business, because from that point you find yourself from that point you find yourself noticing that, like, all right, I could do all these jobs. Why would they pay you more when
Right.
they can go, let's say you want more, but they could find somebody to do that job
Hmm.
for a little bit less than what you're getting to do that job, because they
Absolutely.
need a job. And then all the other positions, they could do that and they'll save.
Hmm.
Why on earth would they'll have your replacement do your job and three other positions, and they'll say that's a part of your description,
Yep. That's the
and
common
then
thing
you'll lose it.
I saw. I mean, it was one of the reasons why I walked away from corporate America.
Mhm.
Um, as you know, just the whole, oh, well, we're gonna put you here, move you there, do this. So it's a part of your job description. And that's what, in all other tasks as assigned is the sentence, the nightmare sentence for me. All other tasks as assigned. This means basically whatever y'all tell me to do at this point for this $40,000
Mhm.
is what I need to
All
do.
other tasks assigned.
All other tasks assigned,
Right.
which put me in directors positions, darn near CIO positions. And and then to look at what you make 200,000 a year. They brought you in. Mind you, I've been doing the job, but they just brought you in and they're giving you
200,000. They're giving
200,000
you
and I
40.
get $40,000.
Yes. Because the more valuable you showed that company to be, and
Mm-hmm.
they seen that you, with your value, you was willing to work for next to nothing.
Right.
So why on earth would I ever give you any more than what you're deeming yourself to be worth?
Exactly.
And so the more you are worth to a company, the less money they will pay you.
Right.
And you should never ever, don't argue for no raise. If you feel like you have to argue for a raise, you know what I mean? And if they're willing to raise you, they're willing to give you more than what you're asking for.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
and so the reality to it is, like, like, but only a boss and a supervisor would understand that. See, a
Right.
supervisor is going to be like, "Oh, I'll take that extra dollar. I'll take that. They bumping me up. I'm making 60,000 a year and everything." And it's
Right.
like, I'm doing this and I'm doing it. Now that's great and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
when you own your own money, you produce it at your rate.
Exactly.
You produce
Exactly.
it at your rate.
Exactly.
And so, at that point, a boss is going to, let me leave y'all with this. There is a formula I think everybody in the world should understand. It's something that I'm implementing in the homeschool aspect, because I
Okay.
think about it from a base as well. I want you to imagine yourself like you are a business, you are a conglomerate.
Right.
Okay. And it's not because of your many talents,
Hmm.
but it's because there are so many ways you can make money.
Right. Right. Right.
And the way a conglomerate works is that you're an umbrella company to,
Everything that you
everything
do.
else, right? Okay.
Hmm.
So in every Fortune 500
Hmm.
company name, there's a secret that most people have no clue. This was the secret that was given to me to why I became successful, like in a boom manner.
Right.
It's called the HOTS formula:
Hmm.
the hare, the owl, the tortoise, or the squirrel. Now, for my ghetto-preneurs, the
Hmm.
hare is the rabbit,
Right.
and the tortoise
Not the
is a
weave,
form
y'all.
of a
Not the
squirrel,
weave.
right? It's not the
Right.
weave.
Right.
It's not the weave. It's not the yaki. The hare, the owl, the tortoise, and the squirrel. And then I want you to think about it like this. Um, when you are the hare or the rabbit,
Hmm.
the properties of a rabbit is he jumps from here to here to here to here to here to here, right?
Yep.
That's an entrepreneurial mind,
Yep. All day.
right?
All
We
day
always thinking of different ways
to make
to make money
money.
and to keep money sustainably coming in and everything. So we're over here and we over here, we over here, we over here, we here, we doing that, right?
Yep.
That's the hare.
Hmm.
Then there's the owl. He is the overseer. He has a bird's eye view
Hmm.
of how it's supposed to be laid out.
The operations, the floor, the
Hmm.
manager. Right.
Then you got the tortoise. Now, most of you guys got tortoises in your house. You got tortoises in your family. Some of your friends are tortoises. Some of you used to be friends, but now they're your ops. They're tortoises. But let me explain to you what a tortoise is. A tortoise or a turtle is often revered as a hater.
Hmm. Hmm.
The hater, right? When in all reality, it's the money man. What they're gonna do is they're gonna try to depict everything you could possibly be wrong with your idea. They're gonna try to shoot it down, find all the chinks in the armor, all the holes, everything. They're gonna try to destroy it. And then when they can't, they act like a tortoise or turtle. You ever see a turtle on land?
Hmm.
Is he fast?
No,
No, he's
not at
slow
all.
as
He's
shit,
slow.
right?
Yeah.
You ever see a turtle or a tortoise in water?
Yeah.
Is
Fast
he
as fuck.
fast?
Super fast.
And that's what an investor is. An investor will be slow to invest, but fast to give you the money.
Hmm. Absolutely.
That's your tortoise.
Yeah.
Then let's talk about the squirrel. The squirrel is your foot soldier. When
Hmm.
you think about a squirrel,
We're
he
gonna
running
go get
all
it.
over
He
the
gonna
place. He
go
on the
get it
lines.
because he's going to go get it
He's kicking in all the doors. He gonna get the nuts from
yeah,
everywhere. Like he on the
everywhere.
lines, he on the trees, he on the ground, he's speeding.
Yep.
That's your soldier. That's your foot soldier, right?
Hmm.
And that's your hare, owl, tortoise, squirrel.
Hmm.
Now, if you're trying to figure out, well, how does that have to do with anything? And it's a good euphemism, but what does that got to do with business?
Right.
CEO, CFO, COO, vice president.
Hmm.
Your CEO is the entrepreneur. That's the hare.
Hmm.
The owl is your COO. That's your chief of operating officer. That's your chief
That's your
operating
day to
officer,
day.
right?
Everything that happens.
The T is the turtle is your CFO. That's your money man.
That's where all the money go, how it gets tracked, where it's going, why it's going.
And then you got the squirrel, which is your president or vice president of directors, whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
The liaison between the working staff and
The management team, the higher up,
right,
the C, what they call it, the C level platform, the
right.
people in the
So
C suite.
that is the case.
Hmm.
And so when you put that together, every Fortune 500 company has at least, they start off with at least two of the four.
Right. Exactly.
So you need at least two of the four. And some of us, we kill ourselves because we confused about who we are. Like you don't have to be the
we
entrepreneur
we
in
try
your
to be
life.
all of them,
Right.
and I think that's one of the things that get people stuck, and that's a great analogy,
Right.
because you don't have to, I genuinely teach this all the time, and I'm like, no, I have a company. You already know I have 18 people that run this company, where I can sit here now and say I can do interviews during the day, because when I go check my phone, it lit up 16 times. It's because my staff is like, hey, can I do this?
Right.
Could you
Say
do
I'm
this?
going
Could you
to do
do
it.
this? I'm
Right.
going to
Right.
do this.
Right.
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 We can actually run our businesses while we do this part of the job, because
Mm-hmm.
this is promoting our companies,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
no matter what, the job is getting done, because we know, even though we can do those things, we don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
We found people who can do those things and let us be us. we could be the CEOs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key of what my business is. That hustle and hack is
Mm-hmm.
becoming going from a hustler, which
Mm-hmm.
we all started, we from NORF,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, to becoming a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
And that creating that transition. So of course I'm gonna steal that, just like the guy on YouTube. Cash did not tell me that. So y'all didn't hear it here first, but you heard it here first. You know what I mean? That it's time for people to make that transition and identify what role they actually play, and then hire other people to play the other role. You might not be the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
You may
You
not
may
be a
not be
CEO.
you may not be the owl. You may not be the money man. You might be the squirrel. You might only be the squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Um you might only be the overseer. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
You might be the CEO and the overseer, but the tortoise and the squirrel, you need people to kick in the doors for you. You need the money. Or you might only be the money man. Like, yo, you have the money, but you don't have the direction,
Mm-hmm.
and so you link up with these other formulas. Um this is what the situation really is all about.
Right, right, right. So you're kind of, and I love this. I love that you're doing what I do on a whole nother level, and that
Hmm.
this is where I love the parallel analogies that we use, because we do the same thing.
Hmm.
Although you're like, okay, I'm going to get you on track here, but we all, no matter what door you walk in, you
Hmm.
start at the same place. We start that
Hmm.
mindset,
Hmm.
and then that self identity.
Hmm.
And when I show you these books a little later, you're gonna crack up. But this is where we have to start. And I try to get people to understand, if you don't start there, by the time you get here, you lost.
Hmm.
You lose, because you don't even know how to pivot, because you don't know who you are.
Hmm.
You can't pivot if you didn't go through self identity. Would you have been able to transition into saying, okay, I'm no longer doing music, I'm going here, I'm gonna be doing this?
No, and I'm gonna tell you, the the funny part about it is, self identity is not something that you're going to just wake up and have. Sometimes it does take for the pivot
It
to happen
is a
first, right?
yeah, it's a
Because I
process.
would have never imagined that I'd have equal success in this as I had with music, and then because I'll probably be doing this, um obviously I guess there's no age on creativity, but I
Mm-mm.
don't see myself wanting to go out there and get into dance montages with Chris Brown or nobody like that, right?
Right,
Not at
right,
my
right.
age, hell no, not now. And
Right,
so to put out a song that would be decent and everything if I could ever do it again,
right,
but I'm not. I understand that, okay, but have I left the limelight of it? Have I transitioned from the business side of it? No, I haven't.
right,
So
right,
so with that being said, I think at this moment I would for sure really roundabout like look at things like, all right, well, now I'm in this place.
hmm
I'm in this genuine place where um I'm not only able to help my family, but I'm able to help people.
freedom.
Right, freedom, right? And so I would have never imagined that this would be here. But then the craziest thing about life is that we have no control. And the moment you identify the fact that you have no control over distance and duration, you do have control over ingestion and conception.
Right,
And if you say, okay, this is what life has given me, and these are the options that I have to choose from it, and then what you do is you start functioning in the idea of like, these options, I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do
right,
this,
right,
based on this is what's given me, this is what's given me. If I want to get to that goal, I have to make sure I do this and this and this and this, and I have to make sure these decisions are right. And if this comes about, then I have to understand that, okay, I still want to go here, but now I got to figure out, okay, it's a detour here. I might have to double back 2 steps, go to the left too, and then swing it around. And
right, right,
but the moment you stop trying to control every second and every minute of life, and you start making the moments, because we don't remember every second and every minute.
no, not at
We
all.
only remember the moments, right?
Right,
So if you can control and dictate the moments of life, then you'll start getting your shit together. And so I would have never imagined that I would be doing this. This is how I'd be able to take care of my family and stuff like that, because I was groomed since I was 8 years old that music was going to be the out. What it did was it gave me a platform to not be afraid to do these
these things that
things
we're
in
doing
these
now to
moments right
pivot.
now. Like the moment it gave me
We're
the
taught to be
ability to
free.
talk to people. It gave me the ability to stand on 10 about what I believe in despite the influence. Like you can't be an
Yes.
artist overly influenced by criticism. So now when people
Right.
criticize me or they say something, just constructive criticism or just hate, like I could shrug it.
Right.
Where some people will fall apart. You hear CEOs and stuff like that. It was a CEO back in the 90s named Don Lapre who killed himself
Mm-hmm.
because of somebody doing something in his company that made him look bad. So he ain't like how the public viewed him for a moment.
Wow.
And most people probably don't even know who the hell Don Lapre is,
Mm-hmm.
but he was
Yeah.
a big deal. And like in this time frame, maybe 30 years later,
Right.
I don't even know who he is. So like that was a moment.
Mm-hmm.
We're all going to have moments. Like I said, everybody is going to look at you and they're going to be like, oh man, that ain't who Nina used to be. That
Right.
ain't who Cash used to be. They
Right.
was this, they was that. And then it's like the moments. And it was like, all right, you're holding me for a lifetime to those moments.
Those moments, and that's we're going to conclude with that.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who want to hear more from Cousin Cash, he doesn't know this yet, but you can tune in to industriesradio.com. He will be, we're going to set it up to be determined. He'll be jumping on occasionally, doing a just going live talking to y'all. He's going to be there. We're going to make sure that he's set up to have a Cousin Cash show whatever time he make it, but we will be posting that soon. um and if I think there's a lot more that he can share. I won't be paying him. He rich. He don't need me. But he gonna be on though. This is what happens when you got powerful siblings. You just boss them into something. But I mean, honestly, I think there's a lot through our journey that we have in common that we like to share. We don't have the time and resources available to share the way we would, which is again why I built the platform that I built, to be able to give you guys reach to people like myself, to people like Cash, to allow us to kind of share with the world, because the world is flat. We can reach all over,
Mm-hmm.
just with these microphones in
Right.
a short period
Right.
of time. And like I said, I built a platform that's remote. I'm gonna say here, before
Right.
he leave here, he'll know his IP, and you can
Right.
go on, and say, hey, Nina, this is the time that I will be going on
Right.
for 10 minutes. I do a 10-minute show. And I think this is something that people we can share and constantly
Yeah.
share as we grow. So y'all see how I just talked him into doing a radio show. This is
Right.
a technique I don't suggest you try at home
Yeah.
immediately, but definitely a technique that you guys can do.
Ladies, if you try to do this to your man, you're getting divorced. It's only a sibling thing. You getting divorced.
Yeah, don't try to say it with your husband.
Yeah.
Don't try to
Yeah.
with your
You getting
husband.
divorced.
Cash, tell them how they can find you. How they can get to your course, if they're interested.
If I'm doing my job well enough, you can't find me. No, you can follow me as Cousin Cash. No, a Church for the Wicked on all platforms. Church for the Wicked. And that's CH. Damn, I gotta spell this out. This is long. Okay. C
I'll drop it
H
in the
U
comments
R
too.
C H number 4 DAWICKED. Right. Because there's a guy named Cousin Cash, and apparently there's a guy. As soon as I got popular, like there's a guy named Cousin Cash, and he's a rapper, and he also can't rap presents either. So shout out to you.
Shout out to Cousin Cash,
Shout out
the
to
rapper.
Cousin Cash, the rapper. Like he's probably a really decent individual, but his talent is not rapping, right? I'm just
But
tell
he
you
a
right now.
rapper.
But he's a rapper.
He's
He's
a
a
rapper.
rapper. So
That's all that matters.
I ain't shooting it down. I'm just saying he's not good. Like he's not good. Like
So before we leave, we gotta
I'm
insult
not him.
somebody.
I'm not no, because
Like, I ain't that Cousin
damn, Cousin
Cash.
Cash, a piece of shit. Like, no, like I'm just don't have me like, yo, remember them bars you spit? Like, no, I did
That
not.
wasn't me.
But it wasn't me. That was him. And I'm
Mm-mm-mm.
only saying that because I really do have people that come to me like, yo, man, like you rap. And I'm
Right.
like, who the hell is this? And then
But
it's
wait till
like,
I put why I drop the single. So I am dropping a single, you guys, before I let him go. It is Tweet My Shit, and yes, he's on it. And I don't care what he's talking about. He can get all the paperwork. I'm be like, that's my brother, y'all. Go right in court and cry.
cease and
So,
desist.
and like, it don't even matter. So we will be dropping it definitely. I know I mentioned it before, but it will definitely be dropping soon. So that's in the lineup to drop. And yeah, that's featuring Cash, myself, and Montana Black. Shout out to Montana Black. And we had a lot of fun making this song. Like I think I mentioned it before on Montana's show that it was a parody. It was something that we did
Yeah.
for fun.
Yeah.
We were making fun of in the industry and the turn that it was taking, and we just was having fun. So it's a song we're gonna drop. I'm gonna drop it just so we can have something to laugh back at. You know, our kids can look it up and
and
say,
yeah,
"Oh my
and be
God,
like,
y'all
y'all
crazy."
was y'all was,
Well, I want to thank you for being on the
no
show. Look,
problem.
we did almost 3 hours. I
Right,
love it. So we're gonna
right.
drop this to the world. And again, make sure y'all check out Cousin Cash. And we will be creating a Cousin Cash show.
Oh, well, let's do it. We could listen,
And
listen.
fast
I
because we the
will.
fastest. So
Yeah,
about where he came from, we do call him Jesus.
yeah. I knew she was going.
And we
You wasn't gonna let it
definitely
go.
I couldn't. I tried. I
You
was
wasn't
going to
gonna
click
let
the
it go.
button, but before
Okay.
we do that, we do call him Jesus. And as you get to hear him speak over the microphone to the world, you'll learn why he do a lot of different things, not just the things that he talked about, but he's a huge influence and he's an all around everything type of guy. And I'm proud to be able to share him with you guys, with the whole entire world. And hopefully we get him on this mic. Not hopefully, we're gonna get him on this mic. He's out of Florida. I'm gonna let him go back a little soon.
Yeah,
His wife texts him and everything.
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to
I'm
fight
getting
her.
cussed out
I
now on
love
a
her
text
now,
message. You know what I mean?
So
So
we're gonna let him go.
when she
But
sees this
thank you
episode, she be
guys.
like, "Oh, you was really there,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah,
You was really
exactly.
there."
And she loves me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so we'll definitely have you back on, but you'll be live on air. So
Okay.
we'll be getting you back on soon.
All right,
And
let's do it. Let's do it.
this was great.
I'm gonna act up, but this is you will not get the same version. I'm just gonna let y'all know that
You can
now.
do whatever version you want, okay? Thanks for tuning in to Respect the Hustle, another episode with Cousin Cash. And y'all already know, see us on YouTube, see us on InDaStreetsRadio.com, follow us on InDaStreetsRadio.com, everything InDaStreetsRadio.com. We appreciate your support.
All right, peace.